All right, guys, we're live again. I'm sorry. This is so weird, bro. So weird. So weird, but we're live again. Bro, stupid music, bro. How is YouTube doing this today? Out of all days, YouTube would do this today. Like, it's kind of insane. It's kind of insane. Let me send the link to Chris. Maybe I should stream it from CNBC, not through Twitter. I feel like that's what's causing the issue. I'll try. Maybe that fixes it because I'm not doing this. This is just ridiculous if it happens again. So maybe let's do it through CNBC. Maybe that fixes it. Even though I'm still going to mute it right now. Let me text this new stream to everybody. One sec. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. All right. We're about to get started. New stream. Let me link this. Link, copy link. Yeah, I'm not going to play the music. Go to this one. All right. Dude, I'm just using CNBC now. I feel like that's the only way.
Yeah, that's fine.
Maybe the CNBC one is okay, but it's still on mute because of the music.
Dude, it's so weird. Why I think this thing keeps getting disconnected? Based on what? There wasn't even any music.
Yeah, there were trumpets playing, right?
Yeah.
Like, what the... Those freaking trumpets, bro.
I just hope you don't get like copyright striked.
No, it's not a strike. It's a copy. They said there was a copyright match. It's not a strike. A match is whatever, but a strike is worse. But I guess they copyrighted the trumpets playing music or something. See, I don't even want to play that music.
Yeah, this is dumb, man. That's so dumb.
Use C-SPAN, but see, the problem is C-SPAN's still playing the music. That's the issue.
Yeah.
You know, I think maybe this will be okay because we're on CNBC and it's not Twitter. And I guess
okay, maybe.
I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, we'll know in a few.
Okay. While they're
singing, let's just talk.
Yeah. Yeah. What's your raw reaction, dude? Got any president?
It's I'm proud, dude. I'm proud to be an American. I was proud 4 years ago. I was proud last 4 years. I'm proud now. It's a peaceful transfer of power. Thank God. Hopefully isn't this whole thing with like constant reprisals where everyone is just investigate, and it's it's not a good idea for like our government to become that divided. Like we have some serious issues that are coming our way in the next few years that we need to tackle, and the only way we're going to be able to tackle it is by tackling it together. Specifically things around the debt ceiling that's coming up. Literally, like the country is about to quote unquote run out of money because of the legislation around where the debt ceiling is. That's like one. Another thing is the interest rates are constantly rising right now. So there's a chance that, the US dollar could one day weaken enough to the point where alternatives come in. It's like, these are the kinds of things that we have to worry about. Same thing with like China. China's growing its arms all over the world, and we need to make sure that we're supporting our allies and containing them. Otherwise, in the future, we could be in for a kinetic war with China.
What do you think about all the TikTok drama over the weekend that happened?
I don't know, man.
And by the way, guys, yes, Bitcoin went from 106 to 102. I don't know why, but it just fell.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I think it was pretty weird because like TikTok ban originally had kind of come up via the Trump administration, but the one thing that I think Trump realized is like during his campaigning, it was one of the few platforms that didn't censor him nearly to the degree that some of the other ones did, And so it's kind of like, I guess it was a good bet by the people in charge of TikTok to make sure that they stayed in his good graces just in case he won. Because the thing is, if he had lost, TikTok would have been banned for sure. Like that was like 100%. Joe Biden even signed it.
Yeah.
So it kind of like worked
out.
My thing
is a young generation of kids now got a message that Trump saved their favorite app, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, you got a lot of Gen Zs that, dude, the amount of people that were crying, like literally crying because TikTok was gone, they get to associate Trump with saving it, which from a Democratic perspective is crazy. They let him get that win.
It's kind of weird because the Chinese now effectively have a medium into our algorithm, right? Like into the US like people's
Yeah.
algorithm.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, the fact that people can't live without it just shows the addictive power of its algorithm. So now it's like, how do you wean people off of that TikTok addiction?
Well, Trump did say Xi Jinping's open to selling it now. Wall Street Journal reported this morning that they're more open to giving up 50% of the ownership, which means maybe we're going to have a joint bid for it. It's just going to be really weird how the ownership structure looks like.
It is my honor and pleasure to introduce to you the 45th and the 47th President of the United States of America, Donald J. Trump.
All right, let's see.
Thank you very much, everybody. Well, thank you very, very much. Vice President Vance, Speaker Johnson, Senator Thune, Chief Justice Roberts, Justices of the United States Supreme Court, President Clinton, President Bush, President Obama, President Biden, Vice President Harris, and my fellow citizens. The golden age of America begins right now.
Wow.
From this day forward, our country will flourish and be respected again all over the world. We will be the envy of every nation, and we will not allow ourselves to be taken advantage of any longer. During every single day of the Trump administration, I will very simply put America first. Our sovereignty will be reclaimed. Our safety will be restored. The scales of justice will be rebalanced. The vicious, violent, and unfair weaponization of the Justice Department and our government will end. And our top priority will be to create a nation that is proud, prosperous, and free. America will soon be greater, stronger, and far more exceptional than ever before. I return to the presidency confident and optimistic that we are at the start of a thrilling new era of national success. A tide of change is sweeping the country. Sunlight is pouring over the entire world. And America has the chance to seize this opportunity like never before. But first, we must be honest about the challenges we face. While they are plentiful, they will be annihilated by this great momentum that the world is now witnessing in the United States of America. As we gather today, our government confronts a crisis of trust. For many years, a radical and corrupt establishment has extracted power and wealth from our citizens while the pillars of our society lay broken and seemingly in complete disrepair. We now have a government that cannot manage even a simple crisis at home, while at the same time stumbling into a continuing catalog of catastrophic events abroad. It fails to protect our magnificent, law-abiding American citizens, but provides sanctuary and protection for dangerous criminals, many from prisons and mental institutions that have illegally entered our country from all over the world. We have a government that has given unlimited funding to the defense of foreign borders, but refuses to defend American borders or, more importantly, its own people. Our country can no longer deliver basic services in times of emergency, as recently shown by the wonderful people of North Carolina, been treated so badly. And other states who are still suffering from a hurricane that took place many months ago. Or more recently, Los Angeles, where we're watching fires still tragically burn. From weeks ago, without even a token of defense, they're raging through the houses and communities, even affecting some of the wealthiest and most powerful individuals in our country, some of whom are sitting here right now. They don't have a home any longer. That's interesting. But we can't let this happen. Everyone is unable to do anything about it. That's going to change. We have a public health system that does not deliver in times of disaster, yet more money is spent on it than any country anywhere in the world. And we have an education system that teaches our children to be ashamed of themselves in many cases, to hate our country despite the love that we try so desperately to provide to them. All of this will change starting today, and it will change very quickly. My recent election is a mandate to completely and totally reverse a horrible betrayal and all of these many betrayals that have taken place, and to give the people back their faith, their wealth, their democracy, and indeed their freedom. From this moment on, America's decline is over. Our liberties and our nation's glorious destiny will no longer be denied, and we will immediately restore the integrity, competency, and loyalty of America's government. Over the past 8 years, I have been tested and challenged more than any president in our 250-year history, and I've learned a lot along the way. The journey to reclaim our republic has not been an easy one, that I can tell you. Those who wish to stop our cause have tried to take my freedom and indeed to take my life. Just a few months ago in a beautiful Pennsylvania field, an assassin's bullet ripped through my ear. But I felt then, and believe even more so now, that my life was saved for a reason. I was saved by God to make America great again.
Wow. What a statement. Wow. We forget that happened a couple months ago.
Dude, imagine this was like the Red Wedding where music starts playing and then the soldiers come in and start arresting and executing people. That shit would be like...
That would be absolutely wild, bro. Oh, there's Kamal.
Yeah.
That is why each day under our administration of American patriots, we will be working to meet every crisis with dignity and power and strength. We will move with purpose and speed to bring back hope, prosperity, safety, and peace for citizens of every race, religion, color, and creed. For American citizens, January 20th, 2025 is Liberation Day.
Whoa. He's going for the offensive here, bro. He's going for the offensive. Liberation.
Yo, if you start hearing the Reigns of Castamere, bro, we need to end the stream now.
As the greatest and most consequential election in the history of our country. As our victory showed, the entire nation is rapidly unifying behind our agenda with dramatic increases in support from virtually every element of our society, young and old, men and women, African Americans, Hispanic Americans, Asian Americans, urban, suburban, rural, And very importantly, we had a powerful win in all 7 swing states. And the popular vote, we won by millions of people. To the Black and Hispanic communities, I want to thank you for the tremendous outpouring of love and trust that you have shown me with your vote. We set records, and I will not forget it. I've heard your voices in the campaign, and I look forward to working with you in the years to come. Today is Martin Luther King Day, and his honor, this will be a great honor, but in his honor, we will strive together to make his dream a reality. We will make his dream come true.
Trump meme coin is down 20% right now.
National unity is now returning to America, and confidence and pride is soaring like never before. In everything we do, my administration will be inspired by a strong pursuit of excellence and unrelenting success. We will not forget our country. We will not forget our Constitution, and we will not forget our God. Can't do that. Today, I will sign a series of historic executive orders. With these actions, we will begin the
this is
complete
the part that we need.
restoration of America and the revolution of common sense. It's all about common sense.
Bitcoin National Reserve, maybe.
Let's
First,
see.
Oh, here we go.
I
Here we
will
go.
declare a national emergency at our southern border.
This one's not a surprise. Everyone knew that this was going to be a big one. He's going to lock down.
All illegal entry will immediately be halted, and we will begin the process of returning millions and millions of criminal aliens back to the places from which they came. We will reinstate my Remain in Mexico policy.
Okay. Yeah, this is actually kind of long, good for Andrew.
Of catch and release.
Long Geo. This is where you need to go. Long Geo Group. Long Geo Group.
The disastrous invasion of our country.
Geo Group is a private prisons company
Under the
that might do really well
today,
with that.
We will also be designating the cartels as foreign terrorist organizations.
Okay. Okay. This is a big one.
Yeah. Foreign terrorist organization. Huh. Nothing surprising yet. We knew that was coming.
And by invoking the Alien Enemies Act of 1798, I will direct our government to use the full and immense power of federal and state law enforcement to eliminate the presence of all foreign gangs and criminal networks, bringing devastating crime to U.S. soil, including our cities and inner cities. As Commander-in-Chief, I have no higher responsibility than to defend our country from threats and invasions, and that is exactly what I am going to do. We will do it at a level that nobody's ever seen before. Next, I will direct all members of my cabinet to marshal the vast powers at their disposal to defeat what was record inflation and rapidly bring down costs and prices.
No specifics on that. You're just saying inflation's bad.
The inflation crisis was caused by massive overspending and escalating energy prices, and That is why today I will also declare a national energy emergency. We will drill, baby, drill.
There you go.
Okay, long next decade. There you go.
Drill, baby, drill. In a presidential suit. There you go. Bitcoin 105. Bitcoin back to 105.
America will be a manufacturing nation once again, and we have something that no other manufacturing nation will ever have, the largest amount of oil and gas of any country on earth, and we are going to use it. We're going to use it. We will bring prices down, fill our strategic reserves up again, right to the top, and export American energy all over the world. We will be a rich nation again, and it is that liquid gold under our feet that will help to do it. With my actions today, we will end the Green New Deal and we will revoke the electric vehicle mandate, saving our auto industry and keeping my sacred pledge to our great American auto workers.
That EV tax credit is probably going away. It is probably going away.
In other words, you'll be able to buy the car of your choice. We will build automobiles in America again at a rate that nobody could have dreamt possible just a few years ago. And thank you to the auto workers of our nation for your inspiring vote of confidence. We did tremendously with their vote. I will immediately begin the overhaul of our trade system to protect American workers and families. Instead of taxing our citizens to enrich other countries, we will tariff and tax foreign countries to enrich our citizens. For this purpose, we are establishing the External Revenue Service to collect all tariffs, duties, and revenues. It will be massive amounts of money pouring into our treasury, coming from foreign sources. The American dream will soon be back and thriving like never before to restore competence and effectiveness to our federal government. My administration will establish the brand new Department of Government Efficiency.
Wow. Doge. Established. So we have 5 orders so far. 5th one is established Doge.
Dixie's going the other way right now.
After
Yeah.
years
Marcus
and years
didn't like
of
the tariffs
illegal
thing.
and unconstitutional federal efforts to restrict free expression, I will also sign an executive order to immediately stop all government censorship and bring back free speech to America.
The 6th one. Yeah, Dixie hates that tariff thing, dude. It's so volatile on that headline.
Never again will the immense power of the state be weaponized to persecute political opponents. Something I know something about. We will not allow that to happen. It will not happen again. Under my leadership, we will restore fair, equal, and impartial justice under the constitutional rule of law. And we are going to bring law and order back to our cities. This week, I will also end the government policy of trying to socially engineer race and gender into every aspect of public and private life.
DEI is gone. At least in the government.
We will forge a society that is colorblind and merit-based. As of today, it will henceforth be the official policy of the United States government that there are only 2 genders, male and female.
Whoa. Whoa. Guys, let me know if my mic sucks. I think it's a little bad right now, but let me know. I think it should be okay though. But no
This
more
week,
DEI.
I will reinstate any service members who were unjustly expelled from our military for objecting to the COVID vaccine mandate with full back pay. And I will sign an order to stop our warriors from being subjected to radical political theories and social experiments while on duty. It's going to end immediately. Our armed forces will be freed to focus on their sole mission, defeating America's enemies. Like in 2017, we will again build the strongest military the world has ever seen. We will measure our success not only by the battles we win, but also by the wars that we end, and perhaps most importantly, the wars we never get into. My proudest legacy will be that of a peacemaker and unifier. That's what I want to be, a peacemaker and a unifier. I'm pleased to say that as of yesterday, one day before I assumed office, the hostages in the Middle East are coming back home to their families. Thank you. America will reclaim its rightful place as the greatest, most powerful, most respected nation on earth, inspiring the awe and admiration of the entire world. A short time from now, we are going to be changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, and we will restore the name
Wow.
of a great president.
Look at Kamala and
William
Biden.
McKinley to Mount McKinley, where it should be and where it belongs.
Kamala and Biden are not smiling. They are upset. They're not standing up either for this.
President McKinley made our country very rich through tariffs and through talent. He was a natural businessman and gave Teddy Roosevelt the money for many of the great things he did, including the Panama Canal, which has foolishly been given to the country of Panama after the United States. The United States, I mean, think of this, spent more money than ever spent on a project before and lost 38,000 lives in the building of the Panama Canal. We have been treated very badly from this foolish gift that should have never been made. And Panama's promise to us has been broken. The purpose of our deal and the spirit of our treaty has been totally violated. American ships are being severely overcharged and not treated fairly in any way, shape, or form. And that includes the United States Navy. And above all, China is operating the Panama Canal. And we didn't give it to China, we gave it to Panama, and we're taking it back. Above all, my message to Americans today is that it is time for us to once again act with courage, vigor, and the vitality of history's greatest civilization. So as we liberate our nation, we will lead it to new heights of victory and success. We will not be deterred. Together, we will end the chronic disease epidemic and keep our children safe, healthy, and disease-free. The United States will once again consider itself a growing nation, one that increases our wealth, expands our territory, builds our cities, raises our expectations, and carries our flag into new and beautiful horizons. And we will pursue our manifest destiny into the stars, launching American astronauts to plant the stars and stripes on the planet Mars.
Mars, baby. Mars. Mars.
Mars, baby. Wow.
Elon! Elon's like, yeah, Mars, bitches.
Oh, Elon loves this. Look at Tucker
Ambition
Carlson. He loved this.
is the lifeblood of a great nation. And right now, our nation is more ambitious than any other. There's no nation like our nation. Americans are explorers, builders, innovators, entrepreneurs, and pioneers. The spirit of the frontier is written into our hearts. The call of the next great adventure resounds from within our souls. Our American ancestors turned a small group of colonies on the edge of a vast continent into a mighty republic of the most extraordinary citizens on earth. No one comes close. Americans pushed thousands of miles through a rugged land of untamed wilderness. They crossed deserts, scaled mountains, braved untold dangers, won the Wild West, ended slavery, rescued millions from tyranny, lifted billions from poverty, harnessed electricity, split the atom, launched mankind into the heavens, and put the universe of human knowledge into the palm of the human hand. If we work together, there is nothing we cannot do and no dream we cannot achieve. Many people thought it was impossible for me to stage such a historic political comeback. But as you see today, here I am. The American people have spoken.
Wow. Sounds like a campaign speech more than anything, right? Like, just saying exactly what he's gonna try to do.
Dude, that picture of Zuck staring at Bezos'
I stand
wife's
before
chest
you now
is
as
going
proof that
viral
we
right
should
now.
never believe that something is impossible to do. In America, the impossible is what we do best. From New York to Los Angeles, from Philadelphia to Phoenix, from Chicago to Miami, from Houston to right here in Washington, D.C., our country was forged and built by the generations of patriots who gave everything they had for our rights and for our freedom. They were farmers and soldiers, cowboys and factory workers, steel workers and coal miners, police officers and pioneers who pushed onward, marched forward, and let no obstacle defeat their spirit or their pride. Together, they laid down the railroads, raised up the skyscrapers, built great highways, won 2 world wars, defeated fascism and communism, and triumphed over every single challenge that they faced. After all we have been through together, we stand on the verge of the 4 greatest years in American history. With your help, we will restore America's promise, and we will rebuild the nation that we love, and we love it so much. We are one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God. So to every parent who dreams for their child, and every child who dreams for their future, I am with you, I will fight for you, and I will win for you. We're going to win like never before. Thank you.
Oh boy.
Thank you. Thank you. In recent years, our nation has suffered greatly, but we are going to bring it back and make it great again, greater than ever before. We will be a nation like no other, full of compassion, courage, and exceptionalism. Our power will stop all wars and bring a new spirit of unity to a world that has been angry, violent, and totally unpredictable. America will be respected again and admired again, including by people of religion, faith, and goodwill. We will be prosperous. We will be proud. We will be strong, and we will win like never before. We will not be conquered. We will not be intimidated. We will not be broken, and we will not fail. From this day on, the United States of America will be a free, sovereign, and independent nation. We will stand bravely. We will live proudly. We will dream boldly, and nothing will stand in our way because we are Americans. The future is ours, and our golden age has just begun. Thank you. God bless America. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Oh boy. There you go. That is his speech. Bitcoin's at 102. Bitcoin's down. No crypto mentioned.
Ladies and gentlemen, performing America the Beautiful, please welcome the Armed Forces.
All right, guys, we can't listen to that, unfortunately. Just too scared. Chris, what's your reaction to all this?
I'm still not getting over the Zuck thing. Zuck got caught eyeing Bezos' wife. You gotta put that. You gotta show people.
Dude, she was like wearing lingerie
Go
underneath.
to my Twitter.
This is what she's wearing.
Right. So then Zuck can look at the other dude behind him.
This is pretty viral worthy.
Bro, so I wrote Zuck is definitely sleeping in the metaverse tonight. Oh, dude.
Guys, we're not gonna play the song, guys, because the copyright strikes. But
if Amazon and Facebook start having problems, y'all know when it started. It started at the inauguration.
let me show you another one. This one was of Elon.
Yeah.
They said Elon was cracked out. Look at this. They said Elon is cracked out on ketamine.
He definitely is, dude.
He's like, what the hell's going on here? Like, why is this so long? This is the longest he's had to sit through something in his life. Like, what is this?
I feel so bad for Zuck, though, man. He literally got caught looking. In 4K, no less.
Guys, is my mic better? Is my mic better? It's been so
okay.
weird. It's
Yeah.
been like muffled for some reason today. I'm like, why is that happening?
There in the auditorium.
Okay, Chris, your reaction to the speech. What was your actual thoughts on it?
He didn't mention anything about Bitcoin, which was a little puzzling because I thought that was something that would actually get brought up, but he didn't mention anything around that. He did mention the tariffs and the tax thing, so that's something to keep an eye on because I thought that could have been left out. External Revenue Service, I thought that could have been left out. The Doge thing was good. EV mandate, which I thought was a smaller thing, but even that got put into the speech, which was a little surprising. I will say this. The best trades I think we are going to be able to have is around energy because he's mentioned that like more than a few times and he really put that into a really like he shined a lot of light towards it. So I would say any company that's developing energy or energy infrastructure, I've been long on, but I think I'm going to get longer on it even further because I think that's going to be the key to inflation. So I think it's going to be it's almost like a giant circle, right? Lower energy prices, get those energy prices lower across the globe. That ends up causing disinflation. The disinflation then lowers the rates. The lowers the rates causes more energy disinflation, and it's just in a circle. So the key to look out for now is disinflation, and the way that they're going to go about it, at least from what I can tell, is going to be a lot of energy. So LNG terminals.
Real quick, Chris, before you
Yeah.
continue, Trump coin is down 4. This is the lowest we've seen it all weekend. So this thing is getting
Yeah.
nuked right now.
Yeah, because he didn't mention Bitcoin. He didn't mention anything crypto. So
And you know, the thing is, he was so explicit in what he wanted to mention: 2 genders, drill baby drill. That was the moment to also say Bitcoin. And the fact that he didn't say it, it is weird, bro, because he was being explicit about everything else. Very weird,
Yeah.
especially after launching a meme coin this weekend.
I mean, if he had said something around like the creation of the strategic Bitcoin, which is completely out of the designation for this thing, that could have been a really big move up for this, but he didn't mention it. So, you know, that's something. Yeah. I mean, some of these things are non-economy related, like stop all DEI initiatives in the government and establish there are only 2 genders. Like, I don't know, like that one's like, that's more of a policy thing than a real thing. So that's one.
Let's get back to this, Chris, and we'll talk.
Yeah.
Your prophet Jeremiah walked the streets of Jerusalem and blessed its inhabitants with the Hebrew words, Baruch HaGever Asher Yiftach BaHashem. Blessed is the one.
Every right-wing idiot's going to be like,
God.
Jews control the government.
Thousands of years later, this great nation, which adopted these words as its motto, "In God we trust," stands at a moment of historic opportunity. Americans are searching for meaning. Our merciful Father, help us rise to meet this moment. Bless President Donald J. Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance with the strength and courage to choose the right and the good. Unite us around our foundational biblical values of life and liberty, of service and sacrifice, and especially of faith and morality, which George Washington called the indispensable supports of American prosperity. Guide our schools and college campuses, which have been experiencing such unrest, to inspire the next generation, to pair progress with purpose, knowledge with wisdom, and truth with virtue. Hear the cry of the hostages, both American and Israeli, whose pain our president so acutely feels. We are so thankful for the 3 young women who yesterday returned home, and pray that the next 4 years brings peace to Israel and throughout the Middle East. Almighty God, grant all Americans the opportunity to realize our shared dream of a life filled with peace and plenty, health and happiness, compassion and contribution. Stir within us the confidence to rise to this moment. For while we trust in God, God's trust is in us, the American people. America is called to greatness, to be a beacon of light and a mover of history. May our nation merit the fulfillment of Jeremiah's blessing, that like a tree planted by water, we shall not cease to bear fruit. May all of humanity experience your love and your blessing. May it be thy will, and let us say, Amen.
Let us pray for our 47th president. Heavenly Father, we're so grateful that you gave our 45th and now our 47th president a millimeter miracle. We are grateful that you are the one that have called him for such a time as this, that America would begin to dream again. We pray that we would fulfill the true meaning of our creed, that we hold these
Ahmed, lower
truths
this,
to
man.
be
All these,
self-evident.
everyone's like,
that
thank God
all-
Trump didn't get shot. Thank God Trump didn't get shot. Yeah. Yeah. So the national emergency at the border could be a really big thing for Andrew, believe it or not, because Andrew makes the Century product, which actually could be really big because the wall itself is not going to be the end all be all. If you really want to seal the border, you really have to get a ton of monitoring in there, and Andrew has a lot of great services that actually provides products like that. So the southern border thing is definitely going to be big. He did say criminal aliens. Okay, I don't know if that actually means he's going to go after like regular illegals, but he said criminal illegal aliens. So I think that was kind of specific. So that could be something. My wife wrote. What did my wife? Hold on. From weird to include that in there. What? I gotta say, your smile on stream is infectious. Who is that? Oh, it's Fuckfucker. It's okay. Yeah, it's Fuckfucker. Yeah, I was like,
the tariff thing is really weird to me though, because like the Dixie tanked today off no tariffs, and now it's up because they think there is tariffs.
Yeah,
I don't know. The market's really reactive to the tariff headline, like very reactive. So we don't know if there's going to be tariffs or not. There's going to be a framework to set up tariffs, but I don't think he's actually going to implement them anytime soon. Because Canada's going to retaliate. They're not going to just.
I don't see any value in putting tariffs on Canada. That was kind of dumb. And I think the whole okay, so here's the thing. I think with this whole tariff thing, Mexico and Canada, maybe it's just to get some kind of deal accomplished. Other than I just don't see the point of tariff. I could see a little bit on Mexico because a lot of companies, what they do is they go through Mexico as an alternative to China. So the way that it works is what they'll do is they'll import stuff to Mexico and then from Mexico import it into the US, thereby avoiding the tariffs from China, right? So a lot of that process also happens with Southeast Asia, where they had like middlemen countries where they'll ship something there and then they'll ship it from there to the US and be like, oh, this is not from China. This is from blah, blah, blah. So, I think that's what he might be leaning towards, but I can't 100% tell, But yeah, it's something that we have to just keep an eye on. I don't know. None of what he said today, there wasn't a single surprise, which is good. Yeah, I guess we'll see what happens next year. For me, I'm looking at a lower inflation environment.
Dude, I think the biggest question is, are we going to get inflation to come down? Like, that's going to be the most important thing. And I think with this tariffs thing, I don't know. I don't know if that is going to be the case. The other thing that's really important as well is are these executive orders today going to have an impact on the market tomorrow in the context of, are they just like symbolic executive orders, right? Or do they actually
There's no such thing. Something? There's no such thing as a symbolic executive order.
Well, like this whole thing, we're going to establish that there's only two genders. Like he's not going to actually put it into law that there's two genders, right? That to me,
I don't know how that works.
Me either.
I really don't. Yeah.
I guess the DEI and the government getting rid of that's like real because you can actually like.
I mean, the way that you can enforce, I want to say enforce, but the way that you can do it is craft a policy around it where it just says that in like all government related like legislation that they basically keep it as male and female rather than trying to, be inclusive.
Right.
Maybe something like that around. So, it is what it is. Yeah, but the whole thing with the reason why this whole religion thing is because you're basically hearing the same thing from everyone. Thank God Trump didn't get assassinated.
Well, do they do this at inaugurations? They have all these different religious
I think so.
Come up?
I think so.
Maybe I don't remember it from 4 years ago, but
I don't remember it either. But I didn't really watch the inauguration like that last time, so I couldn't really tell you. I didn't know that there were so many that it was going to be like this religious with everyone giving a speech like thank God for Trump, like
yeah. Okay, so
Chris, why did you call the entire right wing idiots? I'd said the people that basically demonize Jews, they're idiots, all right, and most of them sit on the right, so Thereby those are the people that I want to be specific about. If you think Jews are in control of the world, then in my opinion, you're an idiot. All right. So just to clarify that.
Trump coin down 36% right here, right now. Do you think this thing survives over the next 4 years, or do you think it gets rugged really quickly?
I don't know. I don't know, man. This is like,
I mean, it's a $38 billion coin.
I mean, this is the whole thing. It's like each person's going to value this differently. There's going to be people that are going to speculate on this. When things get oversold, they might buy. When things get overbought, they might sell. I don't know. There's no real value in any of this stuff. That's the key, right? I mean, it's not like Bitcoin where it's a storage of wealth. It's not like Solana, which everything is built on. So I don't know. I don't know what to say about it. You know.
By the way, Solana pumped pretty heavy over the weekend, but it's down now. It was at 280 at one point. Now it's at 243. You know, I like more the Nancy buys today. That to me is more definitive around, like, Solana's cool and Trump's meme coin on Solana's cool, but I'd rather buy Google and Amazon options if Nancy's buying those over.
Yeah, I'm more
around those. Anything else?
For me, I'm looking at it and I'd say Google and some of the other a lot of the weaker emerging market stocks are also a great place to look for opportunity. Like this whole thing with Nubank is actually pretty good, you know, like, because if right now the dollar weakens, that lends well to some of our outside U.S. investments. And the thing is, those companies the valuations are getting better and better. They're still in growth mode. So small caps are actually going to do well too. If everything that Trump is saying goes into effect, you could see a nice like revival in small caps. You know, like if you look at the futures today, I think the futures had small caps rallying harder than the Dow and NASDAQ. So look at the Russell today.
Yeah, Russell was up 1.5%, which is the most small caps have pumped in futures in a while. I think we're getting music here. Is this going to be music? It's going to be music.
Yeah, so it's the singing.
How did you feel about the actual sentiment of the speech in terms of him like declaring we will do XYZ? Do you think that was the right? Do you think it was a unifying speech or not? I guess is my question. Like if you didn't vote for Trump, do you feel more comfortable about this?
Yeah, I don't think so. I didn't like that he kind of like started by just trashing the previous administration. Like if you're trying to unify, you kind of want to downplay it a little bit. The way that he said it is like, America is like, was shit before I got here and I'm going to make it better. Like, no, America's doing pretty good. Like we're on the top of the world. You know, you could say that, you know what, there's no limits to American exceptionalism. And, you know, as good as we have it today, we could make it even better. I think that would have resonated more with people than, hey, everything's shitty across the board. And it's like, no, not really. Everything's kind of been doing well. So
how do you feel about all these tech execs being there? I mean, again, I'm assuming either they just want to get on his good side or they genuinely are excited for the future of the country.
What did you want, dear?
Bitcoin right there at 103.4. That one's currently down.
I think it's when it comes to big tech, Trump realizes the importance of us being in the lead when it comes to all of these new technologies and new things, and they require a lot of capital. Other countries, they have to rely on their own like citizens' dollars to kind of invest, and a lot of that money gets, you know, doesn't really go very well. The good thing is like we have these strong companies that keep reinvesting back in American exceptional technologies, right? So as an example, you've got Google, Amazon, Meta, all of these guys are spending crazy amounts of money on AI development, right? Like tell me one other company around the world that's doing that, right? So if you legislatively weaken them, you're also likely to see them kind of like cut back on some of that additional spending. So that could be one thing. Same thing with like Tesla right now. If you try to legislate against policies around Tesla, you're basically hurting Elon, and by extension, you're hurting his ability to reinvest capital in something like Optimus, right? Clearly, we can see that in the future, bots are going to be a big thing. We can see AI is going to be a big thing. We can see space is going to be a big thing. So you don't want to be in a position where you're hobbling your best companies. You kind of want to, push them forward to reinvest and make things even bigger. But some people would disagree with that. Some people say if we have fair competition, it might be better. So,
deliver basic services, saying the education system teaches our children to be ashamed of themselves. And he said he is going to completely and totally reverse a horrible betrayal. Joe Biden sitting there grimacing at points as he listened to those remarks, but he did sit through them, as is required by this democracy that we live in. And that is the amazing thing about the day that we're watching and the events that we're seeing unfold in front of us. As Donald Trump has called this Liberation Day.
Yeah, he said from this moment on, America's decline is over. Again, it was fairly similar to the stridency that we heard in President Biden's last address to the nation, where he said that this nation is at risk of a takeover of a tech oligarchy that was being brought in with this new incoming administration. So what you have is two people who very vehemently disagree on how the country should be run, each of them taking their shots. Biden in his last address to the nation, Trump in his first incoming address in his inauguration. But you did see this throughout the day, the coexistence and at times, real familiarity with the two of them meeting at the White House.
Yeah, I'm going to mute it just in case that music gets us hit. So do you know what happens the rest of the day, Chris, now? Or are you muted? There you go.
Yeah. I have no idea. I don't know. I think there's like something set up at like something outside of the Capitol. I think this was like something official, and then there might be something non-official. So it might be going there, but I don't know.
I just asked ChatGPT. We're going to see the departure. There's a congressional lunch, VP, president, other officials. Then there's a parade, which I believe will still happen. Then there's the inaugural ball. But I think and then signing for executive orders. So yeah, it might happen like 7, 8 p.m. guys, but there will be executive orders likely.
I mean, the biggest thing that came out of all of this is Pelosi being long on Google and Amazon. Like, I thought that was the best.
Honestly, that's all I cared about this morning. Like that.
She's basically highlighting. She sees what's happening. She sees that the regulatory oversight of Google and Amazon, the stringent amount of regulatory oversight, is going to be dialed back. And if that happens, then you're going to see a huge rally in those two. Same thing with NVIDIA. Like I said, these companies already do really well. Their biggest challenge in terms of valuation, well, not so much Amazon, because Amazon's valuation is pretty good, has been around how Google would deal with a DOJ breakup of its Chrome product. If that is taken off the table, then Google can easily rally 3 to 4 points on its PE, which means it can easily get to like 250 plus.
I think buying Google, Amazon, and NVIDIA tomorrow, just off the idea that Nancy's loading up, is not crazy. Like, I don't think it's crazy. A, they're all amazing companies. B, it's like buying Apple and Microsoft tomorrow is kind of crazy, given Nancy's selling Apple and she's not touching Microsoft. But Google, Amazon, NVIDIA, if she's saying I'm long, I mean, it's hard.
And Palo Alto.
Like when they do this and people ignore it, and then we get upset that we didn't follow. It's like, well, here you go. There's your signal.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, she didn't do stock. She did 1-year call options. So, like, let me see what she actually paid.
Yeah, but Chris, they are in the money. She picked 150 on the strikes.
Yeah, she picked 150 on the money, in the money. But so let's see her. I just want to see what she paid for it.
I guess
she also exercised.
She exercised the NVIDIA one. She had $12 calls on NVIDIA,
which is kind of crazy if you think about it now, right? That was one to follow.
Yes, but she bought those in the money as well, so it's not like she was out of the money. But obviously, NVIDIA went up so much that it helped. The 10 thing I still don't get. Kathy's been buying this name like crazy, and I've yet to understand the thesis. I guess we have to look at it if Nancy's buying it. There's no way to ignore it.
Yeah, Nancy paid almost $56 per contract on that thing.
She bought it January 13th, so it's not like she bought it 2 weeks ago. She bought it literally like 1 week ago, and that means we're going to be getting the same price pretty much if we buy it.
Yeah, she's super long on it, and it's literally January 26th. That's like less than, well, technically now it's less than a year. So
Tempest AI is AI enabled healthcare, which is oversimplification of it, but this is a weird one, dude. I mean, there's got to be something she knows. There's no way in hell she did due diligence and came up to the conclusion that the balance sheet looks nice on Tempest. Like someone told her that this thing is going to get a big deal. They're going to make a big breakthrough in AI and healthcare, and that's why she bought it. And she bought calls. She didn't buy stock, so she thinks it's going to happen soon.
yeah, now I definitely have to put in some research on this one because we could be missing something that because when it came out, the valuation seemed rather excessive. But then again, like, I don't know.
Market cap.
I'm looking at, yeah. There's another couple of IPOs I'm actually looking at that are coming out. One is in the liquefied natural gas space. The valuation seems a little bit high on it, but Trump being so bullish, it actually might be very oversubscribed. So I have the ability to actually, like, Fidelity reached out to see if I wanted to get an allocation. And I'm kind of like, nah, because it's expensive. But at the same time, with Trump, they have a lot of growth aspects that could benefit, like especially if Trump is actually pushing for more energy exporting, So yeah.
Overnight market's gonna be crazy. I got guys. I might stream it. I mean, we have Hood Weekly at 9:30. Maybe I do a quick 45 minutes at 7:45 for the overnight markets that open at 8 p.m. I think I probably will because it's pretty crazy right now. Also, President Trump's World Liberty Financial, this is the company that's in charge of the meme coins for Melania and Trump. They just bought $47 million in Bitcoin.
Oh no! Wait, who bought it? World Liberty.
They're the guys who launched the meme coins.
Okay, interesting.
We
got bad news.
What happened?
We know there's gonna be beef. Check this out.
What happened?
Look. Look at Zuck and look at Bezos' wife. They were talking and giggling.
Oh, boy.
Oh, no. Bro, that's it.
Dude, she was wearing lingerie under her jail. Like, yeah, like you
I think someone told her probably like, hey, listen, everyone on Twitter's or everyone on social media is talking about you staring at me. And she was just having a good laugh about it, probably.
Come on, bro. Come on. Like this meme is gonna be viral for the next 5 years, bro. For the next 5.
Bro, look at Sundar. Sundar's like, he probably got the message on Google. He probably got the first images. He's laughing. Look at the dude behind Zuck. I don't know who that is, but he was like, ugh.
This is great. The fact that all these guys were there together and we were able to get these moments is like actually great. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, guys, I'll stream at 7:45. We'll do a future stream because I think we kind of have to tonight. Let me just say, I'll talk more about it tonight, but I am buying more Robinhood, and I'm probably buying it tomorrow. I think that is undeniable that if we're about to get this type of volatility, especially in crypto, Hood's going to try to do 30% growth again, which is going to be hard because last year numbers were good, but we already know Q4 is going to be good. Q1's looking like it's going to be
don't
strong.
Forget they're doing share buybacks too, right?
They have 900 million to load the boat if there's any buyback. I mean, I think Hood might be one of those stocks this year. I really do. And it was one of those stocks last year, but momentum is not slowing down at all.
Yeah. I kind of wish I was more into Hood. I didn't get into it. Like, I don't know why I didn't get into it because I really do like the platform. I do think the UI is a moat. So I 100% agreed with you on that. But I just, I looked at other things at the time. So it's a very interesting thing.
Yeah. And again, the Robinhood crashed last night because they listed Trump, I think at 1 a.m. and people couldn't even buy it for the first 30 minutes because like there was too much traffic. So with all the deregulation coming, I think Hood will be a big beneficiary. And I know it's very cyclical with the market, but if the market is sustaining itself, or particularly in crypto, Hood's going to capitalize on a lot of that volume. Also, their take rate on crypto on the Trump coin was double what their usual take rate is. So they are printing money on that coin.
Yeah. So no, the prospects for Robinhood are up there, so.
Yeah, and we are up about 4% in the German markets. Chris, what do you think about Tesla right now?
I think it's overvalued, man. But then again, I always thought it was overvalued. The people that say it's not overvalued, so here's the thing. My thesis with you that I spoke to you about the other day was you're seeing a lot of increases in the inventory of cars, right? And then at the same time, you've got auto loan delinquencies going up, used car prices going down, new car prices going down. Now you've got the rollback of this EV mandate, which probably is going to mean that that $7,500 tax credit is going to be in the crosshairs, right? So
Right.
that's another thing. So the whole thing with Elon is the electric car part of the business might take some hits. Now, the people that, are basically, I put it out there, they're like, no, but Tesla's not a car company anymore. It's a robotics company. And I'm like, great, but it's still a really, really expensive company. So I think in the short term, it might be a little too overvalued, but who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, I think the narrative is the story with Tesla. On earnings, I have no idea what earnings are going to look like, but if Elon can even kind of confirm unsupervised FSD and the $30,000 car are coming, people might not care about the EV tax credit if they have a $30,000 car coming forward, right?
Yeah. For me, I'm really long on Google because of Waymo. Like I see Waymo starting to kind of like become very I'm just starting to see a lot more like Waymo talk. And the thing is, like, Google already is huge in cash flows and they're undervalued. So it makes more sense to me in being something like Google. So I'd rather go into that direction. I do, however, think that now autonomous cars are in a or autonomous taxi networks, whatever you want to call it. They are in escape velocity now.
100%. 100%.
I think the next 5 years, we're going to see like this become like a standard thing where you're going to see like EV, like autonomous cars picking people up. Waymo's already starting to expand to Miami and Atlanta next year. Like they already have services in some other parts. So it'll be interesting to see the adoption curve on this. And the more people get used to it, the more likely it is that it's going to grow. Same thing with like Amazon. Do you know a company that they bought in Las Vegas called Zoox?
I do.
So they're doing stuff in Vegas with Zoox. So I think the normalization process around the technology is starting to become, more ubiquitous. So it's something to keep an eye on. There's
real quick before we move on from this subject, two things. So I was doing a podcast yesterday with someone who talked about autonomous delivery of food, and I couldn't wrap my head around how would a robotaxi deliver food to someone, right? And the guy said something, and I was like, oh, I guess I'm stupid. I didn't think of that. But if you order your food from Burger King, the robotaxi is going to pull up to the Burger King lot. The employee is going to come out, put the bag inside of the car, and then the car just drives to your house. And it's probably going to be cheaper because someone's not going to literally deliver to your door. You have to go downstairs and open the trunk. But still, I mean, the cost reduction that could happen without having a driver literally have to drive your Burger King from the restaurant to the house, I think is massive. And I think that's where Waymo, Tesla, and Zoox get excited about that. Number two, some intel for you guys. At the meetup over the weekend, there was a Uber employee who came. And I said, what do you think about your stock? It's cheap. It's down 20%. He said, dude, I am only there for the money. That's it. He said, I am not there for the stock-based compensation. The company has really given up on autonomous driving. He says, Tesla's eating our lunch. We have no real leadership other than Dara, who's a good leader. He said the rest of the C-suite kind of sucks. And so his argument was, I am there because they pay me well, but I am not there because I believe in Uber. And so it was interesting to hear that from a software engineer there.
Yeah, I mean, I think the entire industry could get disrupted, to be honest with you. Give it a few more years, and there's a lot of drawbacks to the current situation where, you could just order your car through Uber, but there's also trust issues and all these other little things that can go wrong on the Uber ride. So the funny thing is, once you sit in these autonomous taxis and autonomous cars, at first I really, when I was like, would I feel comfortable with a car not, with a driver, without a driver? Dude, I sat in it, feels freaking normal.
Feels amazing.
Now, within safer. I would say within probably 15 minutes, you feel fine.
Yeah.
It at first it feels jarring. At first, when you see the car come to a stop, it's like, whoa. I hope it stops. And then when you see a car about to turn, you're like, oh my God, is it going to turn? Is it going to turn into incoming traffic? So you get worried. Within 15 minutes, that whole feeling goes away. Yeah. And what's really cool is that it's actually it feels more comfortable being in an autonomous car, and it feels safer for some reason. Like within 15 minutes, I felt safer in that car than a driver. I don't know why. I don't know how. I really don't know why.
Well, I had a couple FSD drives over the weekend. I'm getting more and more comfortable with like, dude, the idea that I don't have to take exit 13 because the car knows to take the exit or knows to make the left turn is unexplainable how amazing that feeling is. And it is the future. It is absolutely the future. So if that is the future, Tesla's going to be a winner. Waymo's probably going to be a winner. Uber, unless they figure out how to embed themselves in the autonomy. Like, again, is Uber cheap? Yes. But people are going to want autonomous self-driving cars in the next 10 years.
Yeah. The other thing that's kind of crazy to see is these robots, these humanoid robots. Like dude, some of them are moving just like humans and actually performing tasks like humans. And I think your investment in Figure was freaking amazing. I think that's going to be your Jason Calacanis moment. I honestly think if they open another round, let me know. I'll definitely throw some bones at it. Because I think
so if you like FSD and robotics, what's the bear case for Tesla then? Like, why don't you own Tesla?
Just evaluation. I think sometimes it's like just really, really ahead of itself. And I'm not in the business of trying to invest in something that's overpriced. Like I really need the value to be. The thing is, you wouldn't want someone like me being in Tesla either, because I'm like the first guy that would be like, no, it's overvalued. And I'd feel uncomfortable. Like that's the one thing I realize as an investor. If I don't feel comfortable owning it, I don't buy it. That's it. Like, why am I going to borrow someone else's conviction on something?
Yeah.
So when I see Tesla, I still see a car company, and I think the FSD thing and all these things, they're still like from commercialization. I think it's still like 3-4 years out. Whereas the collapse in the automotive sector in the market, I think is a lot more like present, like it's real right now. So I wouldn't necessarily want to be in it. Maybe if it gets pulled back to a good amount, then yeah, I've bought Tesla in the past, and I've sold it at a higher price, so I don't mind if the price goes down. So, yeah.
U.S. government employee union sues Trump over Musk's Doge push.
They can sue all they want. It ain't gonna change anything, man.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna stop Doge.
So some of the people like Chris thought Palantir was overvalued at 10. That's right. Sometimes I get shit wrong. that's how the life works, man. Sometimes I get things right. Sometimes I get it wrong.
I get your point on Tesla's valuation, but to me, I'm still thinking that if we know FSD and robotics are the future, the market's going to price that in. Unless you're genuinely concerned about a credit crisis in the automotive sector.
I do think that that's a possibility next year. Like that's definitely on the radar. Like imagine a headline says Tesla misses sales by X. I know that people are going to rely on, oh, well, no, it's a robotics company, but the market may not see it.
Okay, so your point is you think there are catalysts that are important, but if they do have a crappy quarter because of the auto delinquency spiking up, which for everyone that doesn't understand the credit thesis, that's Chris's argument. Is like these delinquencies are at levels that we haven't seen before. That could create a credit crisis in automotives. That means car sales go down, excess inventory on lots. That headline would take Tesla's growth definitively to be negative, which means the narrative of robots and FSD can't save it at that point.
Well, at least not until they have like products that are out there that are generating tangible revenues, right? That's the challenge that you run into. Like, have you seen a single place where it's like, oh yeah, there's an Optimus bot that's actually paying Tesla?
I think they're working internally in the factories, but I don't think they have any contracts yet.
Yeah, so it comes down to where's the value actually coming from. So once again, if there is a negative print on Tesla's future revenue growth, that could lead them to be, to get repriced lower, but who knows?
What do you think about Meta and this whole TikTok thing? You think that's a Trump trade to an extent?
I don't know. It's such a weird thing, dude. Because at one point TikTok was going to get banned, and then Trump's like, no, we're not going to ban it. And then like now it's all up in the air. But look, Meta's still a great company. They're still making money hand over fist. It's not like they're losing money by any means. So if you want, Meta's not a bad company to be in. And the valuation's not bad either. It's like around 25 PE with a forward PE of like 22 or something. So
yeah.
The fact that Trump is having Zuck there, having these people there is a good sign that there's likelihood that these guys are not going to get legislated into death, which has been one of the reasons why their valuations have stayed somewhat muted, especially Google and Meta, right? Google and Meta have both been dealing with this DOJ investigation and everything else. Google already, got declared a monopoly, and it already got declared guilty of that. So all we're left with now is what is the end, what is the judgment that it ends up facing. So it could be something as strong as Google has to divest its Chrome browser, or it could be something as simple as a slap on the wrist. It just depends on who's in charge at the DOJ, the enforcement part, and what they eventually agree to.
Right.
Like
Right.
Google put up some ideas that are a little bit, less likely to harm Google, but we'll see what happens when it comes to adoption. So, yeah.
What is your Bitcoin play for the next 4 years? How are you going to capitalize off crypto exposure?
I'd say the opportunity in crypto is around playing the volatility in the miners. If you look at Mara, that's been the best trade, literally hands down, for the last like 3 months. Where things get oversold and then it goes back up, and then if it goes up too high, then there's ATM offerings, at the money offerings, in which case they buy more Bitcoin, and then it goes down again, and then it climbs up again. I mean, and not to mention the options prices on this thing are super attractive premiums for both the puts and the calls. So you could get a serious return by just playing the volatility in the miners.
But you wouldn't like owning the stock of the miners.
No, probably not. No, because they have a tendency to issue a lot of shares. They're diluted. And remember, every time they do an at-the-money offering, even if it's a convertible bonds, they're diluting existing shareholders to do it. You know?
I mean, I think Hood is the best way to get access. Obviously, Coinbase. I think Coinbase's trading volumes of the past 24 hours have been 10 billion, which is insanity. So I think Coinbase. I mean, if this continues, Coinbase is going to be a great proxy. Obviously, I think I like Hood. Now, MSTR. The question is going to be: will the market give them a higher NAV, a premium to NAV? And I'm curious on your take on that.
I don't know. I really don't know. Because the NAV has been the NAV premium's been like as high as 3 and sometimes as low as 1 and sometimes even 0.7. Right. So you never really know when it comes to these guys. For me, I think for me, MSTR is a little bit more. It's harder to do the math on MSTR. Mara is a little bit easier to do the math. So I'd rather just stick to Mara for that.
Let's see what the speaker has to say right here.
Yeah.
To go all out right away. They want to maybe impose things gradually. So as they continue to have those discussions, guys, there's a trade action today, but there's nothing in there on tariffs, despite some of the promises that Trump himself had made, especially with regards to Canada, Mexico, and China. We'll still keep waiting on that.
Megan, thank you. Steve, let's get your reaction. Let's play a part of the speech that President Trump gave concerning inflation. Listen in.
We're spending and escalating energy prices, and that is why today I will also declare a national energy emergency. We will drill, baby, drill.
Steve, what do you think?
Well, this is part of a whole sort of series of, I don't know what you want to call it, consideration that has to be given to what are the problems with the U.S. economy and what is Trump's theory of the case of what's wrong with the economy. He painted a dark picture of a bleak U.S. economy that probably rings true for some segment of the nation and certainly his supporters who put him in office, but it's not the economy that shows up in the data. And then you have to sort of look at this idea that what he wants to do.
There's Trump coming down. I don't think he's going to speak or anything. I think the next thing is the lunch, guys. I mean, we'll see.
I'm gonna head out before that, but yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for joining.
Yeah. Just one thing, real quick, before I head out. This administration, unlike past administration, is going to be very. It's going to be very erratic. Okay. Some of the stuff that's coming in the Trump administration is going to be toned up and then toned down, depending on how the market is reacting. So I would say when you're investing, just be ready for that level of volatility, because literally this is, action by tweet. So Some people are going to, of course, be able to capitalize on it and some not. But I say the volatility is something like you should keep in mind and, and use that to your advantage when it comes to investing for the next couple of years. So, yeah. All right, brother. I'll see you later.
I'll talk to you soon. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Later.
Yep. Thanks. Bye, Chris. Yeah, guys, I was going to say, I mean, I don't know how much of this we're going to stream. The lunch, obviously, we're not going to be able to stream, but I will be back definitely at 7:45. I'm not leaving yet, but at 7:45, I'll be back. Looks like JD's about to talk, and we'll stream the futures. And I want to stream the executive orders because they're going to do that live. I don't know when that's going to happen, but whenever it is, I'll be live. Jason, if you want to hop on, I'll send you the link as well. I'll send it to you on Discord if you want to pop in for a bit. But I will definitely be live when he signs the executive orders. I think it happens like 7 p.m. I think that's usually when it happens. So, Jason, I just sent it to you, so we should be able to catch it.
Be voted out of committee before coming to the...
Dude, why aren't they streaming him speaking? Like, I want to hear what he has to say. Let me see if I get another channel. Let's see.
But I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, and I know I speak for the president and for all of us, thank you for making this possible. We love you. We wouldn't be here without you, and we're going to make America great again together for the next 4 years. And the last thing I'll say is, having stood outside for about 5 minutes to wave goodbye to the Bidens, thank God we moved that thing indoors because it was a beautiful ceremony and it was cold as hell outside. So, sir, the 45th and 47th President of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
No, he's right. I said, oh, look at this beautiful sunny day. We blew it. And then I went outside and we were freezing. You would have been very unhappy. The sun was very deceptive, I will tell you. It is cold out. And I'm sort of saying, that was so beautiful today. Maybe they should do it there every 4 years. Does that make sense? I don't know. Because, the outdoor thing is really good, but it gets a little cold around this time of the year, as some people have noticed. And a lot of times they suffer through it. There was no suffering in that room. It was 72 degrees. It was perfect with the best acoustics I think I've ever heard in a room. This is not so bad either. But I just want to say, you're a younger, far more beautiful audience that I just spoke to. And I want to keep it off the record. I want to keep that off the record because I don't want to have all those big shots up there. I don't want to think you're more powerful than them. You look better than them, and I love you. Now, we just had a great time. We just had a great day. This was amazing. When you think we took a journey, I mentioned in the speech, a lot of people said that was not a journey that was possible, and it was indeed possible. I didn't really know too much about what they were saying when they said that, but a lot of people felt it. And we hooked up with JD very early. I watched JD over a period of time. I endorsed him in Ohio. He was a great senator and very, very smart. The only one smarter than him was his wife. That was, I would have chosen her, but somehow the line of succession didn't work that way, right? But now she's great and he's great. This is a great, beautiful couple and unbelievable career. I just said to him, you are very upwardly mobile, because he hasn't been doing it that long, but he picked it up so quickly. Remember, the first week was a little bit like the fake news was hitting him really hard. And I said, oh, this may be tough, but after that, it was smooth sailing for him. He took on everybody. He took on the meanest. I don't want to use the word corrupt because we're into a new system, so let's wait till the corruption begins, because it will. But he took on some pretty mean people, and he handled it well. I want to also congratulate Mike Johnson for the job that he's doing. Steve, we gave him a majority of almost nothing. And then I said, to make it tougher on him, let me take 2 or 3 of the people, right? I said, he'll only have to suffer with that for about 3 months. How are they doing, by the way? Are they? Is that moving along?
Totally uniform.
I said, do you mind if I take this one, that one, and a couple of others? He didn't mind. He can handle it. No, he's a man that's liked by everybody. I've never met a man like this. You've got how many is it, 219 or 220 or something? 220. And of the 220, 219 really like him. I noticed he got one negative vote once about 2 weeks ago. But I think even 220 like him, if you want to know the truth. And that's very unusual. I know a lot of nice guys in Congress, and they have 35 people that hate him. So if you have 35 people that hate you and you only have 1 or 2 or 3 votes, you'll have 5, I think. But that's going to be like, the good news is when we get to that 5 number, it's going to feel like a massive majority. You could be really nasty to a couple of them at least. So it's going to feel like hitting your head on the wall and stopping. It feels so good to stop. But he's done a fantastic job. And Steve Scalise he's our hero because, I was with him. You talk about being shot. I was with him. He got some bad ones, and his incredible wife, and she really loves him. You never know about that. I've been with other people. They were doing poorly, and the wife is like looking at her watch. She can't get out of the hospital fast enough. How's he doing? I don't know. He's all right. That woman was a mess. She was crying and crying. No, they're going to take him. They're going to take him. I told Steve when he finally woke up, it was a while too. The doctor told me it was the most blood they've ever transfused in any patient. They've never done anything like it. And here he is, the picture of strength, right? And he's been a great friend of mine, right? With a family, because of a family. And what a job you did. It worked out pretty much better than we even thought, right? And I did have a couple of things, to say that were extremely controversial. And between JD and Melania and anybody else that heard, please, sir, it's such a beautiful unifying speech. Please, sir, don't say these things. I said, I'm telling you, it's going to play great. They say, you're right. For this group of people, it's going to play great. You're the only ones I hurt by not, but we had some beauties, didn't we, Melania? She said, sir, calls me sir when she's angry. No, I'm only kidding. I better say I'm only kidding, or the press is going to pick that one up loud and clear. No, but she said, no, I think it would be terrible. It's such a nice speech. I think it's, it all depends on your delivery. How was the delivery? Was it good? But she said it's such a beautiful speech. You can't put things in there that you were going to put in. And I was going to talk about the J6 hostages, but you'll be happy because, it's action, not words that count. And you're going to see a lot of action on the J6 hostages. See a lot of action. And I was going to talk about the things that Joe did today with the pardons of people that were very, very guilty of very bad crimes, like the Unselect Committee of Political Thugs, where they literally, what they did is they destroyed and deleted all of the information, all of the hearings, practically not a thing left. They deleted all the information on Nancy Pelosi having turned down the offer of 10,000 soldiers. You wouldn't have needed 10,000. You could have had 500, and it would have stopped. Because we may have had 1 million people that day, the people that were there. You don't see any photographs, but we have a lot of great photos. But you don't see those photographs. They don't put them in. They show the people at the Capitol. But I was talking about that. I was going to talk about that. They said, please don't bring that up right now. You can bring it up tomorrow. I said, how about now in front of I'll bring it up right now. This little time delay is good because we're getting great reviews on the speech. Now watch. They'll take the speech and say, I didn't like it because he left there and he's talked to people. But we're giving you a little more information than we gave upstairs. But no, they pardoned a lot of people. They pardoned, before we even get to today, they pardoned, 33 murderers, absolute murderers, the worst murderers. When you get the death sentence in the United States, you have to be bad because they don't give it much. And he pardoned almost everybody having a death sentence. And if you went through the crimes that were committed, you wouldn't even believe them, the level of violence the people that were killed, the innocence of people that were killed and children killed by these people, and he pardoned them for whatever reason. He spared them, and but they didn't spare the people that they killed. And who knows what happens in the future? It's one of the worst because a lot of times they let them out early after that. They say you're going to be in for life, but then all of a sudden they get let out for good behavior, and then they go on a rampage. It's one of those little things, right? But I was going to talk about that. But I was really going to talk about the level of what's going on. Why are we doing this? Why are we trying to help a guy like Milley? Why are we doing Milley? He was pardoned. What he said, terrible. What he said. Why are we helping some of the people? Why are we helping Liz Cheney? I mean, Liz Cheney is a disaster. She's a crying lunatic and crying Adam Kinzinger. He's a super crying. I never saw the guy not crying. He's always crying. I look at him. I remember years ago, he was actually on my side. And then one day, when you don't want to kill people in wars, they turn against you. Liz Cheney hated the concept of not going to war with everybody. Let's kill everybody. Let's spend a lot of money on military equipment, where her father works, right? And, but what she did was incredible. Think of it. They destroyed and deleted all of that information that went on for almost 2 years against Trump. And the reason they did, because it was all false. Like the person that said, I tried to strangle a Secret Service agent. That's one of the toughest human beings I think I've ever seen. I actually had a friend saying, please don't change that, sir. You are the coolest sucker in history. Remember, she said, I put my hands around his neck because he wouldn't go to the Capitol. Made up fiction. And I was rebuffed. And the guy on the right is a massive weightlifter, probably stronger than me. Do you think he's stronger than me, honey? You know who I'm talking. Possibly stronger than me. Slightly younger than me. Like, I won't say how many years because I don't want to talk about that, but a lot of years. But I had a friend that said, why are you disputing that story? That's the coolest story I've ever heard. That I would attack a karate champion, get slightly rebuffed, and then throw my arms around a guy with a neck about this big. Even though there are bars, there are bars, you can't really do that anyway. So I wanted to talk about that. But all of that stuff got deleted. And the reason it got deleted is they were all caught in lies. Secret Service testified, and they said it didn't happen. Actually, the two guys were very embarrassed. They're suffering because their friends are saying, did Trump really do that to you? But they gained a whole new respect for me. But it was just make-believe stuff. And there were a lot of make-believe stories made up. So rather than suffer the wrath, like the story with Nancy Pelosi, I offered her 10,000 soldiers. She knows it. She admitted it on tape that her daughter made. She's a videographer or whatever you call her, which I'm glad she is. Oh, she can't be in good stead with Nancy. But Nancy said it was my responsibility as she's leaving the Capitol. She said it was, and it was. She's in charge of security at the Capitol. But I offered them up to 10,000 soldiers, even more. One time I said more, as many as you need. But you needed 400 or 500. If 4 or 5, you 10,000, that would be more than the number of people there by lot. But we offered her 10,000. Think of it, 10,000 soldiers.
I think we're gonna move on, guys. I don't know what's happening anymore. I don't know what's happening anymore. We got to get back to markets. I thought that was gonna be a short little speech.
He's like ranting right now. Really,
he's
really
legitimately ranting to himself. I have no idea what he's saying right there. But Jason, good morning,
up, man. Happy day off, kind of day off.
It's kind of a little bit of a day off. I had the meetup over the weekend, and I told you this, but everyone loves you,
dude.
Like,
I heard
they love
that you
you.
were having a meetup, and then I was like, where's my? I didn't get you guys. Just so you know, he did not send an invite.
I did not. I did not think you would fly all the way from California for this.
I would not have. But that's okay.
Well, but you still want to be invited, right? It's just like the ethos.
You know. But it's all
But
good.
no, dude. In all seriousness, people love you, bro. People, the amount of people that
I love you guys.
That Jason.
I was debating, just so everybody else knows, I was debating, do I do a stream on my channel or do I just come hang with the Mitt? And I was like, no, I'm just gonna hang with the Mitt because we usually don't do So Mondays, I usually have like a weekly trade plan of some sort and like kind of look over the market, see what's going on, plan the week, and maybe we'll look at some trades and stuff. And I was like, but I don't usually do it when the markets are closed. So I'm like, you know what?
Well, the fact that you're coming onto my stream, I think it highlights how much of a community that this is becoming and how much people really love you, bro. Like people really
sure. It does. It feels totally different.
Yeah, it feels good.
I like the community thing.
Okay, well, I've got some questions to ask you. First of all, we'll get to Pelosi, but did you see the speech? Did you see the inauguration speech?
Yeah, I saw the speech. I was on the road for part of it, so I was like, I'm like, give me a hard time about the audio if it's doing anything. I got a different stand, but the cables came and they were wrong. So I was like, oh my god.
Oh, you're perfect. What was your reaction to the speech from a market's perspective?
I mean, I think initially everybody's probably going to be pointing out he did not mention crypto because I think that was something that was really anticipated, and we can kind of see that in the price right now. But that said, I'm okay with it. I was in the camp of like, okay, if you were going to be long crypto, I think the time to have gotten long is long ago. When you were buying, right? And I was like, just giving you a hard time, like, just buy it, right? Just buy it 50, 60K, whatever. And it was a higher risk trade. If you were going to be trading it, it would have been higher risk to buy the news because you could possibly walking into or buy the rumor, sell the news, right? You could possibly be walking into a sell the news event tomorrow for crypto, which I think is a real possibility. And so I was in the camp of like, I would rather buy the sell the news event if I'm going to get longer crypto exposure, which quite frankly, I think I will. So I think it kind of goes back in the box, but we look at those same type of levels. I'll give it a bit, probably like Wednesday will give us a tell. And then really Friday would be a more of like, okay, solidifying here's where we're going to be.
Why do you think he didn't mention the Bitcoin reserve in the speech or anything about crypto?
I think it's just the audience, right? So like it's clearly a younger audience that he's going to be talking to when it comes to that perspective and like where he is, things like that. I don't think it was going to be super beneficial for what he's trying to drive, right? What's the agenda that he's trying to drive right now? It's like, it doesn't
work.
What's that?
America first, America prosperous is kind of.
I mean, yeah, but like, what does that really have to do with crypto?
Yeah.
Like specifically. So like, what he did say, drill, baby, drill. I was not expecting to hear. Did anybody else hear like Trump say, basically, we're going to conquer Mars? Because that's kind of what I heard, which got me like, wow. All right. So I knew I had this feeling like space stocks are going to be a theme for 2025. And I think that solidifies. I think that's probably one that was unexpected. That might be a market mover potentially next week, like a Rocket Lab or whatever.
Okay, so then what's your take on the meme coin, baby? What was your reaction to it?
Oh, so like if you're trying to trade memes and you're new to the crypto space, did it just block out right now or was that okay?
Oh, you're good. You're good.
Okay, cool. I thought it was going to start ducking again. There was a lot of money to be made on Amit probably doesn't even know about this, you guys, like Melania coin. Right.
I do know about it. It's insane, but I know about it. I tried to buy it. I'm not gonna lie, but then
here's the thing. They're not like Ponzi's the wrong word, I think, for this. It's more like vaporware, if that makes sense. If I were to, because it's not really a Ponzi. Like you can't have a meme be like a Ponzi per se, because there's not like a organization that's like necessarily rugging you aside from the devs. But I think how can I say this? So
no, let me say it this way: is it good for the crypto industry or not that those were launched?
It's a barometer that the appetite is still very much alive. Like, what was the market cap on that thing?
It was like 65 billion at the top.
So here's what you can take out of it. There's 65 billion, call it $100 billion of money that's floating around, being moved from token to token. There's a lot of cash on the sidelines that is ready to deploy for a good time. When it comes to memes, there's money to be made, but you have to know like what the exit criteria is.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So like when a token is listed and it's not on the exchange and you're able to buy it on a DEX. Do you know what a DEX is? Like okay, so if you can acquire on a DEX before it's going to get listed on a like a Mexi or a bit, whatever, or freaking Robinhood was so fast. I think this was like, to me, one of the shocking things was like Robinhood listing Trump coin so fast is wild, right? But you have to know that the majority of the fun is over when it actually hits the exchange. If this makes sense, right?
I agree.
So that's when it's easily accessible. If you're gonna play, you usually play before something hits an exchange like that, and honestly, it was like $2 or $1.50 for the longest time. And then I think the first exchange was probably like I think it was Mexi or something like that. But yeah, Hood listed it way faster than I would have ever expected. And so the fact that that is like, whoa, okay. So does Robinhood have because there's so many things that they haven't listed that they could have listed, and why?
I think they're not. I think they don't want to be classified as, the company that lists all the bullshit. But when something really has power or like momentum, I think they want to list it because they can do it pretty quick. It seems.
I mean, so do they take it down? Right? Like there are a lot of projects that they haven't listed that are legit products. I don't.
Well, here's the thing. Can we talk about Hood for a second? Because, dude, I want to buy more Hood at this. This is like the volumes they're about to get. The users, they went from number 150 to 80 on the App Store in like the past 24 hours.
So, dude, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. Like when we talked about it on last week, and I was like, $48. I don't even know if that's a bad purchase long term. I FOMO'd into a little leap nibble, just because I was like, dude, this is, if I wanted something, I like the Hood aspect of crypto. I mean, it's cool, but that's not even kind of the story for me. But I believe when is earnings. I think that what's more important is like when is earnings, things like that. Do we get a little bit of
so earnings is February 12th. I do think if no one wants to just flat out buy shares, selling puts, and just like if you get assigned, great. If you don't get assigned, all right, you just rinse and repeat. Like it's one of those
$40, something like that. Like
it's one of those stocks this year, which I really think has the ability to just not only do well, but be great from an option income generation perspective because you're okay with owning, like you're actually okay.
Yeah, well, I think that's one of the criterias, right? Like, and TJ's really good at this, like in terms of setting up your primary criteria to have a stock be something that you're willing to wheel, if you will. You have to plan to own it for like 3 to 5 years or more, right? And be happy with that. So I think, if you can say that, then that's a real thing. So I don't hate it by any means in that regard. So if I end up owning more Hood at $40 or I end up owning more Hood at $30 or $50, $60, like I'm probably going to be okay with that.
Yeah. And again, I don't think we're saying this out of pure euphoria. You look at the projected growth, it's cheap. It's like if you keep growing, even if the stock goes up, that doesn't mean you get more expensive. Like to get expensive, the growth has to slow down or something has to happen that's egregious, which extends.
Yeah, I mean, but we still want to like keep expectations in line, right? Like, so back to the beginning, like when you were looking at Robinhood in the early days, one of the things that kept you out of really going heavily into it was just the fact that it's a financial, right? Yes. But this year, this deregulation, the whole theme there, I think the financials, I mean, I've kind of been saying it like for a while, but the financials would be a beneficiary. So that I think you saw that. So maybe that changed why you went a little bit heavier. But
well, also dude, futures hasn't launched yet. The Bitstamp acquisition isn't closed. Trade PMR hasn't closed. I mean, the catalyst for this.
No,
SEC
yeah, there's a lot. So
That's why I'm
crypto is
saying
just it's
there's
just a
too much
small
besides
piece.
crypto that's exciting for them.
Yeah. So crypto's a small piece for sure of the entirety of the Robinhood story. So yeah, if you can look at this stock and say, hey, look, yeah, this is something I want to own for in my retirement account and really not worry about it. I think you can, right?
I really think you can. I agree. And now it's going to be cyclical and volatile with the market, but if the next 2 years,
if it runs up too much, right? So, but we're at a critical mass kind of spot, right? So if you remember Palantir at this exact level, how fast I think we're probably going to get to that point. Sorry, I'm tinkering. We're probably going to get to that point pretty soon where it's like, okay, Palantir at $40 made the trip to 60 in extremely short order.
Yeah.
Right. And it was just like all of a sudden you get this attention on a stock that's like, holy crap. And I think that you're just about to reach that, like that, that type of velocity or type of attention on Robinhood where like institutions and large money that may not have been in this heavily early are going to be like, okay, we need to get on the bandwagon. This is going to be the generational catalyst for my children. Right? Like I'm not talking about the transfer of wealth. I'm talking about like straight up new investors that are making their own money. Forget about this wealth generation or this transfer of wealth stuff, right? I don't think that's part of the story, right? I think it's just like, this is going to be, I mean, ideally it's betting on on an underdog in the entire industry.
Yeah, I think Hood is going to be very, very exciting. Especially with the new 3 product events they have this year. So there's going to be even more innovation. Jason, what's your take on the Pelosi stuff today? So is NVIDIA, Google, and Amazon an easy buy because of this?
I think for a trade, definitively. I mean, there was one I was hammering. I banged the table on, I think on our last show or the Tuesday or maybe the Tuesday before last. That was Palo Alto. That's an easy layup for me where it was. That was a no-brainer. That was one of hers in there. The one that I think people are like, wait a second, what is this? Like TEM or VST even. I mean, VST, if you don't know, that's like the energy trade.
Vistra,
probably one of the best performing stocks last year in general. So there are some like that to maybe not so note the size, number one, right? So the size of VST and TEM are clearly more speculative. And because I think they're options on both. Is that right?
Yeah.
So with options, so whoever trades her account, just know that they use options as real optionality to actually get long in an underline, right? Like, so she's exercising NVIDIA options, things like that. So it's an option. Buying options in that form is a way to not risk as much. If that makes sense. So she could take a bet here on TEM or Tempest and potentially gain as a YOLO with a smaller sized bet if they do well. And if they don't, because it's an option, she's not out like the same amount as if she were to go buy the stock outright. If that makes sense.
That makes a lot of sense. And I do think a lot of people were worried about the Mag 7 this year. I don't think with Pelosi being this bullish on NVIDIA, Google, like, I don't know, dude. I don't think now, granted, she sold Apple and she's not touching Microsoft.
How old is this report, by the way? So like, do we know the dates on these?
January 13th. So like last week, she bought this stuff.
That January 13th is when it was filed, and then we just got it today, but like what the actual execution dates are?
No, the 13th is when it was executed. We got it filed this morning. So we got a 7-day delay.
So she placed all those trades in one day.
Monday, January 13th, correct.
She traded all that.
I mean, look, that's what the thing says.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, when did she do it? I don't really know. Right. Like, so the thing is, like, she got filed. Like MSTR bought, when they.
Oh, no, it's here. It's here. Yeah. 114. Basically last week, 114. Amazon and Google.
So there's a notification date, but the transaction purchased 50 call options. So it doesn't say her transaction date.
No, it does say. So transaction type, date, notification date. So I think the date that they did that is when they gave the notification, but it was filed, which I guess is different than the notification date, today, 6 days later.
Okay. So and then she took profit. So look at the dates on Apple, right? So like
that was December, yeah.
She took profit December. That's bookings. I mean, she'll probably be back into that. Actually, now that I look at that, I bet you she'll be back in later. But anyways,
Nvidia, I wonder what she bought because it doesn't say. It says filing status new. It looks like that's just stock. I know she exercised some of her Nvidia, but then
that might be an exercise.
But it would say that because the one above it says exercised. Then why does the one below say new?
Maybe she was buying stock also.
January 14th. To 500, maybe. Like that's a little hard to understand.
So I'd say what I would say is like it's just like the wow, what's it called when everybody turns in their portfolio updates? The schedules.
It's 13Fs, 13Gs.
Yeah, when we go like 13F season, it's the same kind of thing. So look at it. If you like some of the stuff, that's cool. Don't let it sway your immediate decision one way or the other.
Oh, my immediate decision is Nvidia, Amazon, and Google are buys. Like,
okay,
I think they are buys. So, if she's buying it January 14th, beginning of 2025, which is what she did in 2023 on Nvidia,
I think Amazon for sure. Google is probably going to be an underdog, right? It all looks decent. Wasn't it like a what was the strike on Google?
Of course they're buys, dude. These are Google, Amazon, Nvidia. These aren't controversial names. Like,
what was it on Google? The actual transaction?
50 call strikes for 150 strike, 50 call options, 116.26.
Okay, so like $50 deep in the money.
Correct. I mean, dude, it seems kind of obvious, bro. She hasn't gotten a single thing wrong in 2 years. Every time we say it's time to follow Nancy, I feel like following this is not even following anyone influential. I mean, like it's Google, Amazon, Nvidia. You know?
Yeah.
If you bought Tesla, that's where I think, okay, hold on.
Yeah. So for sure, like if you were thinking that the AI trade is gone, think again, right?
Exactly. That's what I've been trying to say. I think
if you think that the Mag 7 isn't going to outperform, maybe challenge that thinking, right? And if you think that like maybe next year's losers are going to outperform this year, maybe challenge that thinking. Because if anybody was going to jump into, let's say, Oxy and make it super bullish, that would have been Nancy, but she didn't touch it, which is wild, right? Because a lot of people are getting long Oxy here, which is not a bad chart, but
dude, I think she's sticking with tech because she knows Trump's going to deregulate and he's not going to go after the big names, and he's just going to let them run wild. I think that's it.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's always going to be an appetite for growth and for this kind of stuff, and so in our economy or in our market, it's really hard for an underdog to really make that big win. Like, the moves that our parents or whoever was able to make buying Amazon at $20, those days are long gone.
Yeah.
Right. Like those days are long gone. They're all going to get eaten up and everything's going to consolidate. And I think this kind of shows that, right? I was surprised there's no Meta, right? Don't think she's ever been a big fan of Zuck.
That's
really
true.
A whole lot of Meta. That would have been a cool one to see. I absolutely get Amazon. And if I look at so it was weird. So it was Elon and then Sundar and then Bezos and then Zuck in order, right? So I think that makes where was the Tesla buy, by the way, right? Is there a Nancy ETF? Yes, there is. It's called NANC.
Wait, really?
Yeah, dude.
NANC, that's a real ETF?
So Unusual Whales listed.
Oh, but can you trade NANC on the
Yes, you can buy it.
Oh shit. You can. Wait, year to date, this thing is up 2%. Over the past year, it's up 30. Dude, it beat the S&P.
Yeah.
Also, how is Trump still talking, bro?
I don't really know, dude.
The top 10 holdings are Nvidia, Microsoft, Salesforce, Amazon, Google, Apple, American Express, Costco, Meta.
Oh, she already owns a whole bunch of it. So Unusual Whales, we could probably get them on one day, but they run this ETF that tracks their public trades.
Okay, so
but yeah, that's a real thing.
Trump's pumping a meme coin. He's about to deregulate.
And not just Trump, the whole family.
The whole family.
What's Trump's son's name?
Barron.
So if I would say, if you're really into the meme, if you mean stuff, if there's a token out there called Barron on Solana that's available in a DEX, maybe that one's next. I don't know.
Solana's the big winner here, bro, because all these, like, the president's using Solana's blockchain, not Ethereum. I mean, that's
not Ethereum. Solana's the easiest to build on. Did I read this right? Where like Solana actually went down for a minute?
No, yeah, it did. Yeah. I was talking to one of the people who invested in Phantom's latest round. It was a $3.2 billion round. That is like the default wallet. They have like 15 million monthly active users. And he was saying, dude, it feels like Robinhood 2021 for Phantom, even though, you know, it's not GameStop or whatever, but like the amount of users that they're getting that are ready to trade meme coins.
Yeah. So Solana is like your layer one, right? So if people don't understand crypto, so there's what we call layer one. And that is essentially like your operating systems. So like if there was Solana as an operating system, maybe that's like Mac OS, and Ethereum as an operating system, that's like your Windows. And then there's little applications built on top of the application. So then you'll probably see those little applications run a little bit further, like layer 2 stuff that like a Phantom that's like a utility specifically built for Solana.
Right. Okay, so
yeah, and so the fees on Phantom, that's interesting, right? So the only thing I'd say is like whatever happened to Solana yesterday, the fee hike, the traffic, Solana is supposed to be like they're the most bandwidth, right? Not the fastest, but the most bandwidth. If crypto really takes off, dude, the thing is Solana still might not be fast enough. So there might still be like something else out there. I don't know if it's like Sui or whatever, but it may not be Solana, right? If there's a new layer 1 that comes out, that's always like the lookout, right? Like what's the next hyperscale layer 1? So you got to keep fees down. You got to hold that network traffic. So there are other options, but so far, Solana is the easiest to build on, most user-friendly, and highest bandwidth, pretty cheap.
Do you think any of this is a top in crypto, this meme coin froth that we're seeing? Could it signal a top at all in any case? Like, because a top is we're supposed to feel things getting out of hand. I think Trump becoming $40 billion richer overnight is.
I mean, it's like, if your mom asked you if you got in on Trump coin, like maybe, but I don't know.
Still, it's pretty insane, bro. What happened? Like for this to happen,
there's a lot of money that was made like very quickly last night.
People turned $10,000 into like $2 million. Like it's just.
Oh yeah, for sure. And then they chased Melania, right? So I
tried to buy Melania, it just didn't work, but I tried.
You're on Phantom?
Yeah, I'm on. I've had a fan. I've traded a meme coin before. I made like 500 to $2,000. I got introduced to it a year ago, and I successfully sold that one. So as soon as I saw Melania, dude, people were like, oh, she's hacked. I saw the official account. I was like, she's not hacked. I'm getting into this, and I tried, but Phantom was like, they couldn't handle the servers. They would not take my money. I was like, all right, I can't buy it.
Yeah. So that's the infrastructure piece that like, okay, so there's still stuff that needs to be built out. I don't know, man. I've done my crypto stent. I'll just say I have crypto that's floating around in the ether, for lack of a better term. Like that, I don't even know. I don't even know where it is. There's so many freaking wallets. I've like exchanges like crazy. It's a tough game, man. And you have to pay really close attention. It's extremely time sensitive. So like if you don't have your money in the right place at the right time, you might be screwed just because you can't get it over there in time.
8 million requests per minute. Goodness.
Yeah, that's insane.
So my perspective on this is I don't think it's the top. I don't love the meme coin stuff, but I really do think like he's unleashing the gauntlet for crypto. And
yes. So to that end, I think that the sell and use dip is viable on crypto if and when we get it. And if you're, Solana's new all-time high, that's really good.
Dude, look at the trading volume. Yesterday was 430 billion. 14 days ago, it was at 180 billion. And then a month ago, we were at 74 billion. So, January 12th. So
you're talking about total crypto.
Total crypto volume. So January 12th, we were at 74 billion in volumes. We were at 359 billion yesterday. I mean, Hood's going to benefit. Coinbase is going to benefit. Like all the exchanges are racking up.
Yeah. I think Coin is like a little underrated here. Coinbase, the stock. I don't know if it's underrated, but like it's clearly turning the corner back into an uptrend. Not that it wasn't really not an uptrend, but like it's I feel like did Coin have a better day than MSTR yesterday? Coin was at 5% yesterday, whatever the last trading day was.
Yeah, it's almost 300 right now, 295.
No, it's not better, but like it was way up there.
Dude, if crypto doesn't crash in the next 10 hours, I think at 8 p.m. a lot of these names gap up 5 to 10%. Like I think we're gonna see some momentum, unless crypto tanks below 100, which it did for like 2 seconds last night.
Yeah, I think you'll see it again, and then it, like base it out, right? So I don't know that you have to be in a big rush. That's where I'm at. Like I don't know that you have to be in a big rush to get into the cryptoverse, if you will, but like, so it's a new all-time high. That's not bearish, like we say all the time, right? So it is a new all-time high. We got there, so that's true. So yeah, it still goes into the buy the dip kind of mode. So I guess where the dip, it's still as close to 90 as you can. So if Bitcoin chops around 100 for a while before it takes its next leg, I think that's pretty decent anyways.
Okay.
Am I bullish on Solana? Yeah. I like Solana. I do.
What about this Dixie this morning, which was kind of ridiculous? It fell 1.5% when the Wall Street Journal was like, "Oh, Trump's not going to unveil tariffs tonight." And then when Trump said we're going to do some tariffs in the speech, it was up. Like this thing is volatile, bro, off the tariffs headline.
Yeah. Well, so 109 is still going to be. So that's the only one. That's the. How is the bond market open?
Maybe let's hear Biden real quick, and then we'll get back to markets.
Yeah.
As you heard me say before, no president gets to choose the moment they enter history, but they get to choose the team they did enter history with. And we chose the best damn team in the world. You are. It's because of you. I mean this sincere from the bottom of my heart. Because of you, we got so much done for all Americans. I look down there, my Secretary of State, Tony Blinken, and cheated only by his wife who worked for reverse. But look, I only hope to look back on these years. I hope you look back on them with the same pride I have of all you've done. I'm proud of is that you did it upholding the core values of honesty, decency, and integrity. I mean, no scandal. I mean, it's incredible what you did. And you represent the best of who we are as Americans. That's not a joke. That's real. And while I relied on your ideas and resolve and counsel, we also relied on your families. To all your families, thank you for the sacrifices you made. I mean it. For being part of this journey. Every day, I'm deeply moved by all we all did for this country. I really mean it. History's going to mark down just what you did. But the point I want to make today is to make clear my farewell address, as we all do have we have a lot more to do. We heard the inaugural address today. We got a lot more to do. I know from many years of experience, they're up and down, but we have to stay with it. My dad taught me the measure of a person, you heard me say it before, is how quickly they get back up when they get knocked down. That's what we have to do right now. And we've always done our best as Americans. We never give up. Never. We're leaving office, but we're not leaving the fight. You're smart, you're skilled, you're passionate. The country needs you again. So all of you can stay engaged in all the ways you can, whether it's in public service, the private sector, philanthropy, academia, running for office yourself, or anything else you choose to do. I give you my word, we believe in you. We, Jill and I, our family, believe in you. Just as I've said, how the laws we enacted our seasons are going to grow and bloom for decades to come. I say that to you as well. I have no doubt you'll make this experience and taking the friendships you made to continue to do amazing things in decades to come. That's why I see a future. All of it leading the way by you all. So take some time to decompress, reconnect with your friends, spend more time with your family. But most of all, take care of yourselves and each other. I mean it. Let me close where I began with my sincere gratitude. And I really mean it from the bottom of my heart. I've been doing this for 50 years with the best group of people. Hard to say. It's been the honor of my life to serve as your president. And I tell you what, the greater honor is being able to serve with all of you. You're incredible. You really are. You really are. Mark my words. History's going to judge what you've done as one of the most significant contributions that's been made by all of America. Look, folks, let me close that poem you heard me quote before. Seamus Haney wrote, "Once in a lifetime, the longed-for tidal wave of justice will rise up in hope and mystery rhyme. You made it rhyme louder than it's rhymed in a long time." I really mean it. We're on the cusp of real change, so let's make hope and mystery rhyme. I love you all. I'm keeping you too long, but thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Proud of my heart, thank you. Thank you. Can I go up this way?
President Biden, First Lady Jill Biden, the out.
All right. Biden's gone. That's it.
Biden said goodbye.
By the way, Dave Portnoy just put out that he lost $200,000 on Melania. What is this, bro? What is going on? Like what?
It can last a little bit longer than we think, man.
This is quite interesting seeing how this is playing out. Let me check Melania's market cap. I can't believe I just said that, but 6 billion still, or 1 billion, volume of 6 billion.
This is hilarious.
It's down 22%, which makes sense. I still am surprised Trump did not mention anything about Bitcoin, dude. I really still don't get why he didn't say anything.
He's only really, has he really said a whole lot on this kind of a stage though? Or has it mostly been in like other kind of private type settings?
Yeah,
not private, but like crypto-centric settings.
But what fears me is that he doesn't sign an executive order tonight that has anything to do with crypto. That would be heartbreaking for crypto.
What? Is there an expectation that he will?
The expectation is he frees Ross Ulbright today, day one, and he sets up a framework for a Bitcoin reserve. He wouldn't pass it, but the executive order.
One?
Well, Ross is day one. That is the whole crypto community believes that they're convinced that this is happening.
So I'm not in the weeds that deep anymore. So who is this?
Ross Ulbright is the guy who came up with the Silk Road that allows you to transact things via crypto. And people sold a lot of bad things on his platform, but nonetheless, he was just the creator of the platform, not, the guy. So he's been in jail for 10 years. And Big N Trades, thank you for becoming a channel member. It's one of those things where Trump said he would free him. And I don't know, bro. I think it's going to be pretty bearish if we don't get a single executive order on crypto today. I don't think it's not going to be taken well.
Well, like I said, dude, if that's the case, I think that's fine, but I would still take the opportunity to look at it as a potential buying opportunity
I agree.
If they
I'm
sell the
just
news,
saying,
I think that's ideal.
we might get the
And maybe it's only because I am not in any leveraged crypto position right now, because I would probably be saying something else if I was, but I'm not. Almost like specifically for that. Wait. So I do have this. I take that back. So I have a little MSTR stuff, but I do have my short MSTZ puts just in case. So we'll see. And there
like the reason Bitcoin's up right now.
Dude, there was. I'm opening Thinkorswim right now. There was a lot of put flow on MSTR that somebody mentioned to me the other
That's
day.
what I'm saying, bro. People are ready to go short if they don't get the crypto action soon. Like I think,
Yeah.
and so it'll create a buying opportunity, as you said. But I think we have to be ready for that. Because why did it pump to 109 overnight? Like, do you have any logic behind why that happened?
I mean, yeah, dude, we talked about it. I said there was always a possibility of an inauguration pump, which I think I've said this.
No,
right?
but what the inauguration? What does that mean? Inauguration pump? To me, that means Trump mentions crypto during the inauguration. That's
right. That's the run.
He didn't.
No, dude. You already think about this weird backwards, right? You buy the rumor and then you sell the news. The rumor is when you get the move. It's not the news. If you got the news, even if you get the news, that's where I was like, if you got the news, I think it would still sell off, bro.
I don't know.
Is that weird?
I don't know. No, that's not weird because that's what sell the news means. I don't know if it would have done it though, with the momentum that it had. If Trump on a international stage said we are setting up a Bitcoin strategic reserve, I don't know if it sells off that easily, bro.
Yeah, so I think he has to say certain things, dude. So I think he does do some things. I don't know if it's as crazy as people necessarily think. And any way you slice this, even if it is like a sell the news event, the whole bull thesis doesn't change, right? So it becomes a buying opportunity. So how big is a dip potential? I don't think it's that big, but it maybe it doesn't. I think the best case scenario is that it you see a little bit of a dip, but it ends up basing out.
I think he's about to start signing, Jason. I think this is it. Let's see.
What time is it?
It's 2:15. Oh, is that Sachs? No, that's not Sachs. But yeah, that's the signing. I think it's happening, guys. Those are the executive orders right there. We're gonna find out if he's doing crypto. Here we go.
Excuse me. It was a great order, man. We went to the helicopter. It was freezing.
What would you pay to know what's in those files right there?
Yes, it is.
So no decision.
Okay, Donnie, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Donnie. So here we go. President Trump is in the president's room in the Capitol. We're expecting he's going to sign a number.
Official documents. Okay, I assume they're going to be happy with these documents. Yeah, they're just. We might not be here. It's the next step.
Trying to find one with better audio, guys. Give me a sec.
Okay. The next one will be, excuse me. The next one will be 47 sub-cabinet level appointments, sir. But you don't have to sign what you say.
You can hear the president there getting instruction about what he's signing. There were 22 cabinet appointments there. This is the 47 sub-cabinet appointments. And you can see the Sharpie is back. And what looks like the EKG signature of Donald Trump.
Now 31 acting designations and appointments to effectively take control of the government.
31 acting designations and appointments.
I don't think these are exec orders. I think these are the mandatory documents you have to sign to officially become president. So I don't think these are exactly executive orders yet.
I think it was that and sound like cabinet people.
Cabinet stuff. Yeah.
Commission chairman. Chairman appointments.
15 chairman and acting chairman appointments. yet to find out whether one of them is for the Pentagon and the acting Secretary of Defense. But Senator,
well, these were more the FCC, those nominations.
Thank you, sir. Lastly, we have a proclamation ordering on all future inauguration days, including this inauguration day, that flags shall be flown at full mast. Very important.
Yeah, no executive orders. Not yet.
I was at Jimmy Carter's memorial service. I think he'd appreciate the fact that the day you're inaugurated president, the flag should be flying at full mast. I think they go back down tomorrow.
Maybe something.
You don't like the Sharpie ASMR?
Thank you.
Funny.
Good acoustics. Yes.
All right. Now,
That's it.
we go to pledge.
Great. Very good.
and there you hear Senator Klobuchar trying to move it along, saying it's time to get to lunch and keep everything on schedule, handing out the Sharpies as commemorative pens to everyone.
Beautiful custom. It goes back as long as helicopters. Before that, it was a stagecoach. But it was, I thought it was beautiful. Thank you. Great job. Great job. Check.
Do you have any reactions to the pardons President Biden did at the last minute?
Well, I'm not going to discuss it now. I think it was unfortunate that he did that. We won't discuss it now. There's plenty of time to discuss it.
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much. Okay.
Had the lunch.
Okay.
And there you see President Trump declining to comment further on the fact that President Biden pardoned members of his own family, other than saying it was unfortunate. And then,
Oh, dude, did Biden pardon himself? Was that real?
I think
He pardoned all of his family, not himself.
Oh.
But basically,
I was like, can you pardon yourself?
No, you can, I think. But yeah, everyone is going back to 2014, all nonviolent crimes from 2014. I didn't even know you could do that, but that's what he did. So I think the exec order is going to happen in a few hours after the lunch.
Of Defense has been named. They will perform the duties of Secretary of Defense until Hegseth is confirmed or someone is confirmed as the Pentagon chief. It's a man by the name of Robert Salas. He's currently the deputy director for the Washington headquarters service, a name that is unfamiliar to me, but there is someone.
All right, so that's lunch. That's it. So we're pretty much done for the inauguration ceremonies. In a few hours, I think we get the executive orders. That's it. We got a new president. We have a new president. What is the theme? What is the feeling in California? Are there a lot of people upset today, you think?
No, dude, they won't talk about it.
They'd rather not just talk.
Yeah, it'll just be quiet.
I remember the first time 2017, bro, January, my college campus was quiet, dude. It was just it was surreal. No one could believe that it was happening.
Yeah, it'll be just like that.
Yeah, now I think
you don't want to because you don't want to bring it up because you never know over here, dude. Like who you're gonna be talking to. They might lash out in violence and you have no idea.
I do think there's generally more excitement in the country. And it's not just for Trump, it's because of a lot of people were just tired of Biden not being able to inspire and get people excited because he couldn't speak as well because he's getting older. And I think people are ready for that part to be done with.
Does that mean that the California EV thing is gone now?
Well, no more tax credit. It looks like that's leaving pretty soon.
Yeah. So that was interesting. Like the Ford is that if you haven't seen the Ford chart, it's been a $10 stock for longer than pretty much everyone here has been alive. Actually, It's funny. So maybe that catches a bid. I haven't seen GM in a while. I think that's been doing okay. But those were companies that stuck out to me that might not naturally have been who you would think of as beneficiaries. I don't know if they're going to be beneficiaries.
Dude, take a look at the chart. Every time Ford pumps, it's a bubble. 1999 bubble. 2021.
It's
So
But
if
you-
Ford pumps, I'm selling everything. Like that's a bubble, bro. Like this thing better not go to 20. I'm out. Like
No, but you usually buy it under 10. And then if it goes to 20, then you're like, oh, cool. Right.
yeah.
So it was under 10 just the other day. I don't know. I don't have the patience for that one, dude. It's literally been $10 since 1984 or whatever. Like it's wild.
What do you think of all the big tech executives going to the inauguration?
Oh, so Google. I was like the order was Elon, Sundar, Bezos, and then Zuck, right?
Yeah.
I think that was kind of interesting. So like, and then Pelosi buys Google and then Amazon, I think in that same order. She probably owned a lot of Meta, so not a big thing. But yeah, that was cool. I swear I saw Lisa floating in the crowd somewhere. Maybe I'm crazy, but I swear I saw her, but I don't know if she went.
Jensen definitely wasn't there.
No Jensen. I think those are notable. Tim Cook. So that's also so Tim was there, but he wasn't really in that one row, right? Like where was he? I don't know.
Yeah, we saw it. He was in the he wasn't near. Yeah, he wasn't with the big tech dudes. He was like in the
He wasn't. He didn't have the same seat, is what I'm saying. But the main row it was Elon, Sundar, Bezos, which is Bezos really representing Amazon or Blue Origin? I don't know, right? That's interesting, actually. Since we're gonna conquer Mars, apparently, I think that was the biggest takeaway, dude. I will watch the space talks, no joke, on Monday. Maybe people don't remember it, but Elon's got Trump excited about this space thing, dude. I'm just saying.
I mean, dude, I don't know. With all the tech executives showing up to the freaking inauguration, I don't know if the next 4 years has to be bearish, bro. At least definitely not the next 2 years.
Why would it have to be bearish?
Well, the reason is because we haven't pumped 20% like this 2 years in a row with inflation still.
So I think you have
high.
to, if you go back, you have to. So with these metrics or whatever, if you're trying to use like historical percentages, I think you can go back and look at like the .com era, but we would be in those first innings of that. Does that make sense?
Well, people said 2023, 2024 was the first innings. I'm thinking
no, it's the 90s, dude.
Well, I'm talking about PEs that are obviously hyperextended on certain names. Now, granted, that's not a reason I'm bearish. I'm very bullish, but I'm just saying the mainstream narrative I'm hearing from sell side is trim large caps, rotate because these PEs are extended. But then you see the tech executives at inauguration and what Pelosi's doing. It's like, I think the PEs can get more extended because the growth will be there and the deregulatory environment is there.
Yeah, I mean they kind of came back just recently too, like a little bit, but I mean they'll go into this phase of like they'll have to grow into them. So historically, the first if you're looking at at least if you're looking at a 4-year cycle, so the market typically runs in that 4-year cycle. I think I could pull it up. Can I show it?
Yeah, sure.
Hang on. Let me see.
This is lunch, by the way.
No, wrong slide.
Looking at Rocket Lab?
No,
bro. Oh, guys. I had a dream. I had a dream about a stock.
Oh, God.
I don't have a position in this stock, but I had a dream about the stock, and it was on the fucking moon, literally. Like like when I woke up, I was like all I could feel from the dream was that the stock went up a lot. Okay,
dude.
I'm not buying it because of my dream, but SMCI was in my dream, and I woke up and I was like, "Damn, that stock went up a lot." That take with that what you will. But that's
you didn't tell me about what's the guy's name? Steve.
Yes.
His other pick.
What was his other pick?
Is Slob, right?
Oh, SLB. Yeah.
I would have gotten on that bus.
Yeah,
actually,
you had a good thesis there.
Yeah, I like it. But like this is historical presidential cycle, 4 years. So year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4. We're coming out of year 4, but year 1, typically is the smallest of the four. So it's like, okay, year one, year two, Trump, things have gone a little bit beyond or a little bit faster more recently. So like I think at this point, maybe I can move this arrow, but we're probably here now. Because this rally, this is like a 70-year like average. But it's normally like March. If I move this closer,
Bro, if we're right there, then I mean,
so this is March, year one. On average, it's a small percentage, but this is where we are. So it's usually like a little dipski, and then this is March usually. So we're still in January. We could be. I feel like we were here earlier.
Me too.
And then we get this rip into Q3, and then kind of like big pullback. This is okay. So don't trade with the calendar, but this is the averages on the calendar, if that makes sense.
Dude, if 2025 is another 25% year on the S&P, massive. There's a lot of money to be made, like a lot. And being on the sidelines is not going to be fun if that's what happens this year.
Yeah, so I don't see why you'd want to be on the sidelines necessarily.
I agree. I think Trump's coming in right now for the lunch. Oh man.
So you think SMCI? Huh? Why not just Dell?
Dude, Chris likes SMCI too. I don't know what they're seeing in it, but they think the accounting thing is overblown. And
oh, dude. Okay, you need to get salmon. First of all, is Chris working healthcare?
Yeah.
But he's not tech.
Healthcare IT. No, he's just like.
Support. Oh, he is IT.
Yeah.
When I talk to Sam, I can tell that Sam comes from enterprise tech.
Yeah. He's from enterprise tech. Yep.
But I don't know that those SMCI accounting things are really that far overblown.
Meaning you think there's smoke where there's fire?
If my experience with working with them personally is, yeah, it might be not bad, but like really kludgy, like nothing intentional, but like, why did you do that kind of thing? And they'd be like, I don't know, it's just how we do it.
Yeah, well, Chris and Steve are convinced that it's a nothing burger. I mean, I am just not taking it. I'd rather buy what Nancy's buying. Futures, by the way, guys, are up very nicely.
Yeah, I'd rather buy Dell, actually. But anyways, yeah, so we're going to hit that trajectory, I think, for sure. 609s.
Look at that, bro. Look at these futures.
Yeah.
Doing great. Like,
well, kind of great.
They're up all 0.5%. That's
okay,
great.
You want me to share?
Yeah, you share. I guess the question is gonna be tomorrow. How does the market interpret whatever the executive orders are like? They are down from the speech, correct? So wow, SoFi's up 3% in Germany. Okay.
Oh, nice. What's Amazon up in Germany market? I want to know that because I took an Amazon.
I like Amazon Germany stock. Amazon, yeah, I have it. Amazon is up 0.21%. Nothing too crazy.
So I think we get here, we get this little pop in the morning. It on futures.
Oh, Rocket Lab's up 7%. Germany. Hold on.
I'm telling you, man. The space thing was not. We were not ready for that.
Rocket Lab. Yeah, 7% Germany.
Yeah, I don't know how representative that is, but
yeah, I think it's like 3,000 shares were traded, but still, it touched it.
We could see the 24-hour market, but I think so. We're on our way. This is the futures. It's a little bit delayed, but so we're on our way. This was that like definitely over. We're now on ES or the futures. I think it's like 60-20, something like that. So we need to get a little bit higher. So we might hit it just in here, but we still have one more kind of like hurdle to get through. That's 6,100 on futures. So 6,100, I think, is going to be your key. Like we could pop up here Tuesday, but start to chop a little bit and go sideways through like Wednesday. And then if Wednesday we hit 6,150, which is going to be my target for next week, on the S&P, if we get there, I think we get a healthy little pullback. Maximum we like 61.85, but then we call it, because I do think eventually we get into this, back into this box here on the futures. So we can get a little choppy. I don't know that you need to rush into it. Maybe tomorrow we open gap up and the market takes most of the day to digest that. And then Wednesday we could pull back a little bit and see. But if we have like a huge Thursday or something like that, Friday tends to be, so in bull markets, what's weird, like Mondays are like usually really green, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever, but then Friday ends up being like a lot of profit taking happening. So you might get a chance on Friday if it's just like super green and then we pull it back. You saw a lot of that happen last Friday, right? So like on Friday at the very close, we saw the Nobu boys come in and start selling again. But then here we are gapping up. So I think you could take those kind of opportunities maybe next week.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the one thing that I also think is really important is you said the word of the past couple of weeks has been trappy. Do you still feel that we're trappy?
No, we got out of the trap. We're out of the box. So last week, so the box was down here. This was the trappy box down here, and so it was all of this area. So we're like clear from this. To me, I think that from here, if there are any pullbacks, then we start to see. I feel like we start to see that market characteristics again of like all the dips end up getting bought, if that makes sense. So that's what I'm going to be looking for moving forward. Because like, yeah, we could have seen a little bit of this like potential inauguration rally, and then maybe we see some sell the news. But if we do see some of those sell the news events, watching the characteristic of the price action, like are the dips continuously getting bought? I think that's going to be the key tell. And the one thing that has me, a little bit, I guess, like still flashing a little bit of warning signs is this dollar, but I don't know that the rest of the markets are open. The dollar's right back to the area where it kind of failed before. So the dollar opening up here, like 109.5, I'd want to see it get sold off again. That's going to be ideal. And stay down though. Like I really don't want to see it much higher than right here. 109.5 is right into this area. So tomorrow and most of the week, just seeing what the dollar does. And then if we can get that confluence of yields at the same time, that's going to be a deal. But I don't have, what's the ticker, you guys, for bonds?
There's a bunch of them. I mean, AGG is one of them.
No, futures.
Oh, futures? I actually don't know that. I've 10-year futures. Let me see. 10-year futures.
Oops.
10-year futures quotes. It is down. Oh, wow. It's 4.592.
What's the ticker?
I don't have the ticker. Let me try this one. Oh, TYH25. That might be it. TYH. Might not be it.
ZB.
Well, at least on what I'm looking at here, the 10-year is down. Jason, why are you more orange than Trump? Someone asked.
Oh, it's a lighting.
Yeah, they are down, but TNX, I don't think it's TNX.
So it's the I don't know what.
DXYZ is not pumping. DXYZ is a fund for startups. I don't necessarily know if it pumps.
So are you looking at the bonds? I have the bonds up. I thought it was ZN. Yeah, it is ZN. 10-year note.
ZN?
ZN is the futures note.
See, this is why Robin needs to put futures on the app, because then we can easily get access to all this stuff. Trump.
So this is the bond itself, not the yield. So this is I think if the bonds are going up, I mean, so we're getting a little bit of a decoupling.
Correct.
I think
Correct.
of the dollar and the yields, which is good. So that's fine. I think if we can sustain, Amit says that Japan's going to come in and tank the dollar. So that's cool. If that
Yes,
happens next
please
week.
tank the dollar, baby. It's time. Dude, how
time.
crazy is it now that we need them to raise rates? Like, we actually really do. They cannot keep rates low. We need to put pressure on the dollar.
June wants Miss Cleo's rating.
Yeah, 10 years 4.592. Correct. I really hope we don't get to 120, 115 on the dollar. I mean, if we do, it's actually bullish because we know it's a bottom. I would hope that's the top.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, that would be absolutely ridiculous.
But like, I don't know. We have to go that high. What do you think the quantum names are going to do tomorrow, or the spec parts of the market? You think they're going to pump, or
that's kind of, I don't know.
I don't know, bro.
Oh, it's on a midstream. Miss Cleo's there. You let it go up. We do have it. This is the tarot reading for the week.
Okay.
If
Great.
they wanted it. He's like, I'm taking that down right now.
Costco union representing 18,000 workers authorize a nationwide strike. Just now, that came in. Topped out Costco clerks make $29 an hour. Meat cutters make 30. Services make 27. The unions want more than their bonuses of 5 to 10,000. That might not be the best for Costco. 18,000 workers is a lot.
I don't think they have much to worry about this dollar right here. It's lower. But look at I mean, I guess the Russell had a little bit more outside move, but the Russell was like the one that was going to be way more rates. Look at Russell, 2%, right? NQ 0.8%. That's NASDAQ. And industrials 0.6%. So the Russell is like double the pop of everybody else right now.
Yeah.
That probably gets a little faded in the morning. But have you looked at RSP lately? Do you look at that?
No, dude, I don't like. I like large caps, bro.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm a large cap trader, but like the RSP is a lot of large caps, dude.
Are they? But
yeah,
it's not way down. Like, here's my question for you. Do you think the S&P can pump 20% and RSP can pump 20% at the same time? Because if they can't, why do we care about mid caps or small caps? Unless you think small caps pump 20, S&P pumps 10. All right, you go to small caps. That makes sense.
So
to me.
That right there is exactly what we're seeing, right? So like if you look at the futures here now, like that is representative.
That's correct. The futures are representing that, correct?
Yeah. So I mean, ES is up more than NQ, right? Percentage wise, and that is largely due. It's either usually due to YM, which is the Dow or industrials, or RTY, right? So the Russell. Today it's because of the Russell. So I mean, it's a question of whether or not industrials and or small caps can continue to catch their bid. And the inside that Russell, right? Like we have, what was it, KRE, which looks pretty constructive, and then IBB, which does not look super constructive. That's a tough part about like IWM. It's like, okay, the biotech scene
Well, yeah,
not
IBB
so
needs to
hot.
pump to help IWM and regional.
Yeah. So biotechs are about like 20%. Regionals are about like 30% carry. So there's about half, give or take. And that's usually how I split it up. So, but to get both of those running at the same time, it's been tough.
Does Nubank pump on a lower dollar in your opinion?
Pump. Nubank doesn't move a whole lot, does it?
No. I mean, not really.
It hasn't really.
It hasn't really, yeah.
It's like one of those where like it doesn't move until it does. And then it's like, whoa, where did you come from? It's good. I mean, it's rebounding for sure. But this is like it's gotta get over that 12 and stay over that 12. 12 is gonna be a big deal on Nubank, and you're right there. Literally right there. I think it holds though. I think this buy in the 10s was a decent spot. Right in here. But to get out of the gulag, it's really got to get over 12.
What do you think about SoFi here?
I like it, right? So like it was weird.
I kind of want to buy some shares before earnings on SoFi.
I'm with you. So I think
the trend is not with us though on SoFi earnings.
So it's like this. So I have these SoFi leaps, right? And my plan right now is that like to not hedge them until like we get 2 earnings, and then post earnings turn them into time spreads or like sell some calendars, sell some shorter dated vol against them for a little bit, just in case that happens, right? When I say that, just for anybody that isn't aware, it's like the SoFi has a huge tendency of doing a massive beat and then selling off almost every time. But it's like if they don't sell off, that'll be the first time in like forever, which will be a huge tell. So
it's a huge tell, bro.
Yeah, it's going to be a massive tell. The question is like, okay, so the last time that didn't happen was in 2022, right? But it's still like the sell-off eventually happened. Is it 2022? No. Good God. Okay, so yeah, 2023, January, there was a little extension. May. Where'd it go? I just had it. Oh, this one. So there was a little extension. Mind you, this is at $6. So earnings, little bit of pullback, and then big old extension that eventually got sold off anyways. This is a week and a half, 2 weeks post earnings. So like you gotta be, I don't know. I won't be able to make the call until like 2 weeks after after earnings anyways to say like, did they sell it off or did they not? Because even if it gets a little extra oomph post earnings, I mean, dude, I'm 100% with you. We're like, I will buy this anyways. And if it goes too far, too fast, I might trim a little bit. Like it's going to be a trading entry.
Well, here's what are the call? What if we buy it and we sell calls against it immediately just to hedge?
So that's what I already did, right? So remember, I bought those leaps.
Oh yeah.
And so like I've been sitting in these leaps anyway. So my plan was to sell to post earnings, sell those into like some short dated calendars after the fact, because it could. So like a huge move would be to what, like 23, and I'm thinking like, okay, let's say you get the big blow off, right? It gets to 23, it's gonna pull back, and this is the tough part, right? About this is like, let's say you get there, you get to 20, anything over 20 is going to be a big deal, right? And maybe you do sell off, but if you were to get to 20, what are you going to sell off to? You're going to sell off to what, $17 or something, which is still which
Yeah.
still might be higher than where we are today.
That's a good point.
So I would plan it in like tranches. We're like, okay, I'm okay buying some here. I'm definitely what I'm 100% not going to do is buy anything after hours, right?
Yeah.
And if I oversize, so like I almost think that here's the weird one, right? So I almost think that you might even be able to, okay, I don't want to say, if I say this, don't do it. Everybody, just don't do it. If you oversized and you get that like massive pop after hours, then take it down after hours and right size it, and then look to rebuild.
Trim,
yeah. That's
Dude,
trading though.
The one fear I have though,
If
there's always-
you're the person that has a problem selling in general, just don't do that because you're not gonna sell it. That's what's gonna
yeah,
happen.
and then you're gonna be sad if it goes up again.
Yeah.
My issue with SoFi, and this has been always the reason I haven't like gone as heavy into it, is the tech platforms, unless it shows growth,
Mhm.
it is gonna be a bank. And unless they guide for massive profitability beats and more than 25% revenue growth, is the market going to expand the multiple? Like, what is that thing? Like, Robinhood's going to come out with 80% growth and 300 million in net income. What is going to be that sentence that's like, fuck, dude, pound the table, get some SoFi right now? I don't know if they have anything cooking up.
It's
10
not the
million
platform necessarily, but it's like it's similar. Whereas, like, okay, so if Robinhood's the trading vehicle, I think it's as the next generation builds their wealth, who are they going to back it, right? Who are they going to for the loans, things like that? It's a similar story, but it's a couple. To me, it's like a couple steps down the road post.
But that's fine to go long. But if we're talking about buying shares before earnings and we're hoping for a pump, what's the
Yeah?
thing
So
on
then we
earnings?
have to think of what could they possibly say, right? So like, what are the catalysts? Because what could they possibly say? Yeah, and this is the thing, right? We're coming out of the worst
fintech winter. Yeah.
Yeah, this is true.
Yeah, that's true.
And so it might be like to me, it's always been about the loans and things like that. I don't know. I feel like it'd have to be.
I agree. If the loan platform takes off, it's looking a lot more.
Yeah. So the loan platform, like they take over all of your Rocket mortgages and things like that. Like that's where it's at to me.
I also just think momentum's on their side, bro. Every bank crushed it. Every bank basically went up 7 or 8%. I don't
What about
think
deregulation stuff? Is that going to be additional catalyst for SoFi specifically?
If Noto needs to have a call where he just echoes whatever Trump said and says all that shit's going to make us grow even faster. And if he does that, I think the call gets them up 10. Like they should be up 10% on earnings.
So it's not going to be about what they deliver, right? So it's all going to be about commentary and guidance, right?
Which historically hasn't gone well. The call has always been really bad.
Yeah.
Even the SoFi Bulls will acknowledge like the call kind of sucks every time. But this is gonna be one of those quarters where Noto should be like.
Do they know I'm part yellow? Is that why? Was it the orange comment? Was that what that was?
Maybe that's.
I'm only half.
The other thing about
and Amit is very what's the word? He's got his things tuned down.
What?
Your white balance.
Oh no, but my mom and dad aren't white, but somehow I came out to be super like light skinned. It's weird.
He's pasty. Amit's super pasty.
Yeah, it's weird because my dad's not super brown, neither is my mom, but like I came out super white, even though I'm not white. But no, I'm not flip flopping, dude. I have my SoFi options that I'm not selling, so I'm very long. I'm trying to ask myself, hey, should I buy shares before earnings?
Yeah, the question is, do you oversize it, right? Yeah. And like. Yeah. And so, like, we're not. Amit is not, for anybody in the audience, not ultra diversified, right? That's not the game for him, right? So it's all about, where do you concentrate the bets, and is that one to say, okay, this is where it goes. I will say, technically speaking, the chart's just as freaking good as Palantir was, and just as good as and Robinhood is. It's actually exactly the same.
I agree.
So the technicals say yes. That's just what they say. I mean, the weekly chart of SoFi and Robinhood are more than reminiscent of Palantir at 40, right? Like that's exactly where they are. So near-term trajectory looks like we could get a bit of a move into Q2. Into March, June timeframe. That could be pretty powerful. And if people, that's the other thing is like SoFi, I don't even know. I still hear people that I trade with when I've mentioned SoFi in the 8s, 12s, and whatever, they're like, I don't want that thing, right? They're still like burned. They still have their scar tissue from back when. And I'm like, now look at it.
Correct. That's what I'm thinking. I might just buy 500 shares before earnings, bro. And look, if it goes down, I'll fucking I'll buy the next 500 instead. Instead of buying 1,000 before earnings, maybe buy 500. And if it drops,
I mean, it's almost like you had this guy that does charts really good be on your show for the last month or two. I'm just saying, like, as close to 14 as you could, and there was multiple opportunities. Yet here you are at 16.50, $17. I just don't. It's hard to.
I don't know. I made some money. I used your TA to sell some puts. That was good. I didn't buy any shares. Also, dude, I've been a little hesitant to deploy over all this unknown variables, but now over the past couple weeks, really past week after CPI, it's like, okay, we should, even if you're paying a little bit more than you were last week, you should be able to sleep well at night putting money.
Yeah, and I think that's where the market's going to go. Like that thought process right there, I think is where everybody's going to be. And that's what I'm saying about, like, does the market change that characteristic back to, all the dips start getting bought?
Right.
And
which was 2024. Literally, that was 2024.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, 2024, every dip within 2 days, it's bought.
Yeah.
That's it. It is done. By the way, guys, this hat was given to me by this sweet lady named Scarlett at the meetup.
Is it handmade?
Dude, she knitted it for me.
Dude, that's money.
Like, I mean, dude, this is just, it's so special.
Is that knit or is it crochet? It looks like crochet.
I think she said knit. Yo, she texted me last night. She was like, when you get a girlfriend, let me know. I'm gonna knit.
Oh, it came with the scarf too?
Yeah.
Oh, that's money.
She texted me last night. She's like, when you get a girlfriend, let me know. I'm gonna knit her a scarf as well. I was like, this is great.
Did she make her sweatshirt or sweater?
I don't know what she made her. But she had the hat on, and dude,
That's
she was
pretty
just
good.
She wanted her husband to be there, but he couldn't come to the meetup. She traveled 2 hours from Long Island, bro, just to make it. Like,
yeah.
It was so nice. It was so awesome. Musk is talking? Where is Musk talking? Hold on. Where is Elon talking?
Hey, what kind of chair do you have? My chair is getting squeaky. You hear this? I'm like, oh. So we have next door, we have the Herman Miller ones, but I don't know. We don't have the new one.
I don't even know what brand. I've had this chair for so long. Oh, Elon is talking. Okay, hold on.
Where?
Go. Some elections are, important. Some are not. But this one, this one really mattered. And I just want to say thank you for making it happen. Thank you.
What the fuck?
Dude, they are hyped up right now, man.
It is thanks to you that the future of civilization is assured. Thanks to you. We're going to have safe cities, finally, safe cities, secure borders, sensible spending, basic stuff. And we're going to take Doge to Mars.
All right, this is immediately going to become a meme for sure.
I do not think Elon did the Nazi thing, but it looked like it, which is the weird part, bro. But that's just Elon being Elon. But I do not think that was a Hail Hitler or anything. But it was just, the media is going to run wild with that.
Yeah.
I mean, can you imagine how awesome it will be to have American astronauts plant the flag on another planet for the first time? Yeah! How inspiring would that be? You know, there's always problems in life. You know,
Oh no, we are not listening to her, bro. Come on, you can't. Come on, bro. You're not gonna go to fucking CNN commentary over Elon.
Yeah,
let
I
me
have
get it.
Bloomberg on. They're not talking Elon yet.
Everyone left Elon. All of them left Elon. What the? No, we got one. We got one. Okay.
Well, so, and yeah, but I'm super fired up for the future. It's going to be very exciting. As the president said, we're going to have a golden age.
He is definitely jacked, dude.
And one of the fundamental things, one of the most American values that I love is optimism, and this feeling like we're gonna make the future good. We're gonna make it good. So, man, I can't wait. This is gonna be fantastic. So thank you again, and yeah, I'm just so excited about the future. Thank you guys. Thank you.
Well, it's exciting, man. What do you think about Vivek not going in with Doge? Is that a thing for you?
I don't know if that's a real thing yet or if it's not.
I'm pretty.
I think it's real.
Yeah, I mean, what the coverage I heard was like it's happening because he was gonna be running for governor of Ohio or something like that.
Well, he posted a picture with him and Elon today, and the picture looks like they're pretty friendly.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that Elon would care necessarily one way or the other, but
yeah, I have no idea. I think we're gonna need to. Doge has to be established as a real thing because I think Trump's got to. Well, he said he would do an executive order to officially make it a real thing. And once that happens, I guess then we figure out who's leading it.
Okay, so yeah, so for Vivek, I would rather be governor of.
Twitter is gonna.
I mean, is it power flexing? I don't know.
I would rather him be in Doge because I thought they could actually get the job done together, but I guess he wants to take over Ohio. Twitter's gonna go crazy about that salute, bro. They're gonna go crazy. They are gonna go wild over that. Oh my gosh, this is Kosh is on now. Okay, let's listen to Kosh. I've never heard Kosh before, actually, to be honest. Yeah, here we go.
Here in America. But our future is bright because you had the courage to stand for your convictions. So I'm humbled here to talk to you about why I love the American dream. My story is pretty simple. It's unique, and some of you share in it. My parents were born and raised in East Africa. My father in the 1970s fled a genocidal dictatorship in Uganda, where he saw 300,000 of his countrymen murdered, where he saw what lawlessness would do if it was allowed to break through the system of constitutional justice. He fled, like so many others. He married my mother. They moved here. They waited in line. They stood in line because the American dream was worth standing in line for. That dream is woven into the fabric of this nation, and our immigration policy is the greatest policy in the world. And now that we have Donald J. Trump and J.D. Vance, it will become the greatest policy in the world again. But dreams and hopes aren't enough, my friends. We got to get to work, and we got to accept the realities that too many of you know from your communities. President Trump launched in his first term priorities of national security, law enforcement, economy, and global diplomacy. But now we have to retread some of that. And I'd just like to go over a few of the things that our community has been living under these last few years. In the last calendar year alone, we had 100,000 drug overdoses. In the last calendar year alone, we had over 100,000 rapes. In the last calendar year alone, we had 17,000 homicides. That is unacceptable in 2025 in the United States of America. That is why we need constitutional law and order. When I read the statistic that for the age group of 18 to 45, the #1 cause of death is CCP fentanyl. We are not prioritized to go after the threats that face this country and most of all, that face our future generations. But thank God we will be starting right now. President Trump and JD Vance's leadership and administration will usher in the priorities that I cherished during my 16 years in government service. That we will always, always honor the men and women who wear the cloth of our nation and stand on that wall and tell you nothing's getting by them tonight. And so to them, thank you. To our teachers and our frontline workers and our first responders, y'all choose to show up every single day for our children, for our communities, and we will now show up for you. Thank you for keeping us safe. To the men and women in law enforcement, and maybe I'm biased on this one. Our police officers, our sheriffs, our federal agents are some of the greatest warriors that God has ever created. And we will put them first because they have our backs, and now we will have your backs. I am standing here because of the American dream. I am not standing here because of the color of my skin.
At the Capital One Arena, where we will see the president at not too long a time. He is, of course, the president's pick to run the FBI. Still awaiting Senate confirmation, however.
With every fiber of my being, that
We want to kind of.
I see you've shared something that's very funny. You're muted. You're muted.
I didn't share that, but I was just looking. I was like, "This is freaking hilarious. This is Trump coin."
This is kind of crazy that it looks
on its side. Look at that. Perfect.
Dude, could you believe when you saw, where were you when you saw the meme coin was launched? Like, what were you doing?
I was driving, and it was one of our back channel texts with some friends or traders they're like, dude, I just made blah 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 blah, and I'm like, and one of them doesn't really trade a whole lot, or he trades, but isn't really in crypto. And I was like, he was like, do I buy this? I was like, bro, it's already on the exchanges. The other dudes are cashing in because they bought it on Solana or on a DEX, basically. And I felt kind of bad for a second because, like, dude, I've been through the ringer on this stuff. Like, I've been part of exchange hacks. I've lost like a ton of money on that kind of stuff. Like, it's just like, and then everybody on Twitter and whoever was like going crazy. And I'm like, and some are making a lot of money, and then everybody's chasing it, right? So I mean, it's cool to see that the appetite's still there. And I'll tell you, like, it's the next generation. It's not my generation that's running after this stuff. Like, I'm done. I've made that like crazy money already. I remember how stressful it was and how much work it actually is to be able to go from exchange to exchange and try to like be in the right place at the right time to take advantage of something. It's a lot of work, you guys, and it's a 24-hour thing because that market does not sleep. But
can we look at Tesla, Jason?
Yeah. I was just gonna say. So this is the Tempest AI, which might be interesting for some of those on the Pelosi stuff. Her strike price was $50.
Where is it at right now? 40, 30.
Yeah. So she bought so what's weird about the Tempest buy, and I was just thinking about, so like all the call options that she buys usually are in the money, right? But the Tempest buy is a $50 strike. It's an even smaller bet than I was thinking before.
Yeah.
If that makes sense, because she buys out of the money. I mean, these are for January. These are pretty far out of the money. January 2026. $50 strikes. There's not even a lot of them there. She's like the only owner of those. So that's ultra speculative. Those are
But like, there's something she knows, bro, about this company.
I mean, it's interesting because of what it is, but like, I don't know the company financials or any of that kind of stuff to really speak on it. But you want to look at some charts. You guys, anyways, I want to do that because I'm sure that people were going to ask. They're going to ask about this chart tomorrow
on Tempest,
TT.
Yeah. You know, Kathy's loaded up on that. You know that, right?
On what?
Tempest.
Dude,
she has like 10 million shares of this thing.
Yeah, but she's.
That's why it's also like, does she?
She's not like my favorite trader, bro.
I agree, but why is her and Nancy agreeing on something is kind of interesting.
It's interesting. So like, and this is what I think was 5 billion market cap. Yeah. So it can move. And technically, this was actually at a really good technical level, I will say, and timing. So this might be timed epically. Realistically. Okay, you wanted to do Tesla? Okay. He wants to do Tesla because he's still buying Tesla.
Because I need to buy Tessie.
Well, it's for you just gotta. Let me ask you a question. How long are you gonna own Tesla?
Forever.
Okay. What's your near-ish term 2026 price target?
I don't know. Tesla? Who knows, bro? I feel like it's over 500, but who knows?
650 to 7, right? Like
Your price target. I didn't say that. I don't know if it gets to 650, 700. I hope it does.
You don't?
Dude, if they
750, bro.
they delay the new car or robots or fucking energy or whatever, you know, if Elon's too ambitious and it doesn't play out, it's not going to 650, 700. Right? Like if they don't release a $30,000 car in the next year and a half, that's not good. Now, granted, I think they will, but I don't know.
I don't think that's going to matter that much.
You don't think they need a new next gen car?
I
the
think
Model
that
Y, Model 3 is all that matters.
People that are in it now just believe that it's coming. So whether or not it comes next quarter or the quarter after, they're going to continue to believe that it's coming.
But what is coming? Is it FSD? That's what they think is coming?
All the above, right? There's just so many. There's just so many things.
Well, that's why I'm conflicted, because I'm experiencing it every day, and I'm like, all right, I know it's coming. So, but then what's the entry? I guess that's the hard part.
Yeah. So I think you start to do the DCA. I think you had a good entry. Like you had a good entry. I still think that 350 is going to be like. Would have been.
You can't tell me to wait for 350 and then get me excited, bro. That's not how this works. Like,
well, 350.
Don't tell me it's going to 350 and then tell me to DCA. It's going to 350.
But okay. So my point was, if it's 420 and 350, so anywhere 415, 413, 413, right? So whenever it's below 413. You're below that prior all-time high. And I think below that, you can start to DCA. The lower that it is, the more obviously you'd want to buy with an ultimate, 350 or below. But the challenge is, what if it gets away from you? Right? And so like you want to have something in the game to show that. So what I would say is, okay, it's 415, 400 is obviously going to be a big psychological level. So if you get it below 400, 413 is that prior all-time high. from over here. So this I really freaking wanted, dude. I really wanted 350.
You said it 2 weeks ago. You said 350 was on the table.
It was. It got pretty close, but didn't get there.
Yeah.
Somewhat close. It got to 3. What do we get? What do we actually get to? 370. Call it 5. And I think you did good because, like, at that point, you're thinking, okay, well, what is $50, right? What is $20?
Right.
So that the reason I was asking you what's the target, what's the estimate, like your time, like estimated investment time horizon. It's like, okay, so what's $25? I don't know what's $50. That's kind of what we're thinking about right now. What's $50? It could be a lot. It's a lot of percentage wise, but again, the game is net dollars. It's not necessarily percentages as fancy as and shiny as those percentages feel sometimes. It's not a big DCA spot. This is one where I will get like pretty in the weeds day to day.
Do you think it's more likely to go to 350 or 500 at these levels? If you have to pick.
No. I think it's still going to consolidate for a little bit, but not. So I think it could go higher. Here's where we are. So this is our near term. I'll just go to my favorite 30-minute chart. So near term consolidation. We've broken. I'll make this 20-day a little bit brighter. That's a white line. The all-time high is 413 and change. Actually, there's a little hidden, teeny tiny session gap at 414. So I think 414, you start to play just in case, but only enough so that if it goes without a full position, you still feel like you got something. But not so much that if it goes to the 350, you can't continue to buy. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And that's going to line up to about your 20-day and really like this area. So we just did this on Palantir. But here's the area that we're going to be looking at, right? So this is that prior all-time high. I think you get to see sooner than later, like what these guys do right in this area. So they were buying, selling. And it could dip, dude. It could dip, but like.
Well, dude, earnings is the catalyst, right? If they mess that up, I think that's our dip.
Yeah, and the problem is that we're now in the pre-earnings run. So we're going to get the pre-earnings kind of pop, most likely, is what I'm thinking. And so like this near term consolidation, if you will, has broken. Just this takes us to, if it extends anymore, it's like, okay, this takes us to 550, but let's say also it's not fair to say that that's happening unless we're over 450. So like if we're over 450 and really this area at 450, 460, and we just continue to go, then we're very likely going at this point into that 550 area. So, I mean, a little bit. If you get a big dip, that's cool. I think you sold the right puts. Actually, how much are those puts now?
I think they're like $8 or something, $9. Maybe lower.
They're February?
No, they're January 31st. They're a day after earnings. That's where the volatility was good.
Oh,
but I'm like do they mess up earnings, or do they also that day JPOW speaks? So I actually hope they run to 450 before earnings, because then we'll probably get a dump, which is a great opportunity. But if they stay stagnant until earnings, we could pump to 450 on earnings.
Yeah, that's the thing about like investing is like, okay, so you're always like, okay, we'll get a dump, but when the dump is done dumping, is it higher or lower than it is right now?
Correct.
So, and that's always the hard part. If I'm looking at these, Jan 31st of like 11 days to expiration.
Yeah. I got paid 14 for them. What are they right now? Like $8?
Yeah, like $7. Yeah, you're gonna wake up at $7.
I don't know.
That is the strike that does capture earnings.
The Feb 2026 options for Hood are not going to be out, I think, for like a month or two, but they do have $70 strikes finally on Hood, which I've been waiting for a while. But it might take some time for Feb 2026 options.
Okay. Hear me out on this one. I'm going to try and put something together for you.
After this, guys, we'll do TA on 2 more stocks because I know Jason has to leave as well, and I got to
Okay, model this for yourself. Selling a February $400 put.
February 21st.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then buying a January 31st 380 put. You see what I did there?
Yes. This is a put credit spread.
So this is called a reverse calendar. You should be able to pull this in for a net credit at least of $1,300.
I'm getting 1,200.
With the market's not open yet. When it opens, you should see at least $1,300. If it's 1,200, it's whatever, right? But this is the agreement to buy at 400, but you have near-term protection to 380. This also means that you close your 375s.
Yeah. I don't hate it.
And one of two things could happen. You can, at the same time, increase your position of Tesla equity. And if it dumps, you then have the opportunity to execute the 380 put if you wanted to sell it, and then sit on the 400 and roll that potentially. But the 400 put, remember your cost basis, right? So the 400 put for February, you're getting $20 a share, which in Tesla terms isn't $20 is like it can move that in a day, right? So it's not anything crazy. So I don't hate this.
It's fair. I will look at it. Chris is pumping his SMCI right here in the chat. All right, Jason, I do have to get out of here. Can we just do TA on Hood and Pound here? And then I'll let you leave as well.
Well, Hood is going. Hood is like weekly. So what did I say? I just had to FOMO into this because it was just like it's just going. And I'm like, make it stop, and it won't stop. So
I ended up up another 5% tonight.
I know.
Too. 3 to 5%.
Where?
I think it'll be up 3 to 5% tonight.
Oh God. I mean,
this is one of those where is it going to be another Palantir where you buy it into strength and just?
I think
they have the growth. They have the growth to justify it. You know.
So we had 51, right? So this was that area here, 51. What would 5 to 10% would that be 54? Yeah. So 54 would be 8%. Just under 54. That was my next area right into there. So 54, by the way, would be this, which that should be a 100% extension of that. Yeah. So if this is the consolidation here, doubling that consolidation on just this current move takes you to about 54.
Yeah, yeah.
As a quote unquote measured move. I mean, not usually this fast, but sometimes it is. But at that point too, it's like, okay, so I mean, the only problem is that Kramer said it's just a buy and hold.
No, dude, we've survived Kramer in the past, just like Palantir. We'll deal with them.
But
okay.
Yeah, I think there's this weird thing, you know, where stocks get a lot of attention at this area, and to move into like, because ultimately the target's higher, right? Whatever this was, that's over. So ultimately, what we should be doing is taking this. Oops, wrong tool. To here, that's $60. I mean, we're right here on a lot of this. $50 is going to be a psychological level. I
don't think so, dude. I don't think it's gonna be that psychological.
Well, I hope that it ends up being psychological as in support.
Well, yeah, that right.
But it's a nice round number. But yeah, to your point, like stocks like this, what are we at? What are we sitting at? Market cap 42 billion. I mean, 100 billion is not out of the realm of realistic possibilities sooner than later. I don't think so. What would need to happen for Hood to be a legitimate 100 billion?
I think they need to get. They're at what 40, but I think they need to get to 350 billion in AUC. They're at 200 right now. That would help, and I think they can get there in the next 2 years, which means we're looking at a double in the next 2 years.
Oh, but with what they have planned, dude, I think they could get to that with one release of that investment thing platform. We're like bringing like
oh, the trade PMR. Yeah.
Trade PMR.
Oh yeah, you're right. That's another 40 billion they would add. Yeah.
At least.
Yeah.
So I think that's, what was the other one?
Palantir.
Oh, I think this is a good close. I think we're here. So we saw what they did live the other day.
They closed at 71 something, right? Or 72? Did they get?
Yeah.
Palantir.
But then we were talking about this area right in here. These people.
They closed at 71, 77, but after hours they got to 72.
Yeah, but no, but the most recent buyers were more important to me. Whatever they ended up doing. God, my tools keep getting messed up. So like, what are they doing here? Right? And then when we zoomed in and we looked at them on Friday, we did this live. We literally saw them covering, or if they were short covering, if they were long, not selling, more specifically, unlike they did the day before. Right there. So even on just this, these people that sold the day before, this is Thursday, Friday, they were buyers right there. So shorts are covering. If they were short, longs are not selling. I think the bulls are winning this battle here right now. I don't think, right? Like that's just clear to me that the bulls, at least on Friday, won this battle. So tomorrow, if we're over 72, and I think we get to this. So if you remember this block of chop right in here, I think you get into the top of this choppy block was actually like over 75, just slightly. So I do have near-term 75s on call options, but realistically 75 has to be kind of like that first target. So if you're in a short-term trade, you get there, you got to take the majority down, just because that is target acquired, and then you let your runners run. But that's from a trading perspective. If you're longer term, you want to see this 71 and change area continue to have interest from the market, right? So like as we saw these people buying before, we saw them selling, but quickly, that was Thursday, quickly Friday that turned around, and those same sellers from Thursday turned into buyers on Friday. So that's good. We just want to see that theme kind of continue. I don't think this gets sold off into earnings. So I think this ends up being a bit of a pre-earnings pop, which earnings are a little bit later in Palantir. So I still think that you get basically back to the scene of your crime, so to speak, into that 75s. And then it probably gets choppy again as you get back into like, okay, can they really deliver on earnings?
Well, the Carp had a keynote with Ted Mabry, global head of commercial, on Friday, and we watched it on the close. He was pretty damn excited. And he was talking about we're not here to fucking lose, we're here to win, yada, yada. So I don't know. It doesn't sound like a guy who's going to deliver less than 30% growth. Does it sound like a guy who's going to deliver 40% growth? I don't know.
That's the question, right? I don't think that the market's thinking that they're not going to deliver on growth. I think it's always about the forecast, right? So it's always about forward, what have you. So February 3rd is your day. In this instance, I think the 27th, towards the end of the month, you probably get another little round of profit taking, especially if it goes all the way back to the highs. And then you got to see, right? So February 7th, currently 93% IV on that option chain. That's gonna be a lot. I'd actually go back out to like April.
I don't know if 40% growth is priced in, bro. I think if they deliver 40%, we definitely don't have to fall. I don't know.
This to me, this is a scenario where you stay long, but you potentially think about hedging. Yeah. So I think that's and hedging can look a couple different ways. Have you seen this PTIR?
Yeah, it's
ticker?
leveraged.
Yeah. This thing is just insane. Why didn't you tell us to all buy it
Because they launched it when it was at 40, and I was like, okay,
it was $25, bro, and it went to $160.
No, the guy came on my show, Will,
Will.
Yeah, you connected me with him, and they launched it a week after he was on my show. Palantir was already at like 38.40. I'm like, all right, this thing's not going to move that much, you know. If they launched it when Palantir was 20, but then Palantir went to 80, so this thing went to 125. That was pretty wild.
Yeah, I mean, dude, his timing is money. So, yeah, this is Palantir at 40. Dude, what if this is the hood trajectory?
I mean, I think there's a shot.
Do we get a dip ahead of earnings on hood?
It's the most buyable dip ever.
Going down right now.
Well, it's the most buyable dip ever if it does happen.
Yeah, absolutely. But like, dude, it's pumping into it. So
because crypto, bro, crypto. If Bitcoin tanks like 95, I could see it get back to 40. You know?
Yeah, I hate that the correlation is there, but it's not really big correlation. So I don't know. It's a hard bet to press. So
dude, people are just excited about the fact that they know Robinhood's going to grow. I think the stock's being characterized as the product of deregulatory administration, and they know they can lock in that the company that will benefit is Hood, and so people are piling in. I think, just like with AI with Palantir, everyone knew, okay, so every company wants AI. Palantir is the AI name. If everyone wants to trade, and Robinhood is the name for the new generation.
So I think tomorrow they're going to update the strikes on Robinhood.
Yeah, well, they added 70. I hope they add 75 and 80, but they added 70 at least.
Today they added that?
Or like Friday night they added it.
Friday night? Okay, that's what I was seeing. So because I FOMO'd, I already had a decent amount, but like for this move, because it's like this is a big breakout moment. That $40 break, that prior all-time, like that prior IPO break, the setup here, 43 or whatever it was. I'm like, this is just going, and we have earnings coming up, the catalyst, blah blah blah. I bought this stupid January 2026 $65 strike.
Why is that stupid?
Because I didn't. It was stupid because like it's not normal for me to do that, knowing that the freaking price was really high. Because I had it on, I was watching it like at 4 something. It's doubled that already, and my camera is not happy with me right now. Dude, it's just your stream. It never happens on my stream.
I don't know why. I don't know why that happens.
Anyways,
regardless, Hood and Pouncer are looking good from a TA perspective, as long as
they're and SoFi, right? So like
SoFi.
they're all looking really good.
All right, I think that's a sign that it's time to go, and I'll be back tonight. So I'll be streaming 7:45, guys, for the 8 p.m. overnight open. So we will have a market open technically today, and I'll be live till like 9:30 or 9:15, and then we'll do Robin. Dude, you have to join us on Robinhood Weekly one of these days.
What is that?
So it's a podcast I do with Tanner and Roy, and we've done 6 weeks so far, and we talk about Hood, and that's it. And one of these days, you can join us and talk about your thesis. It's at 6:30 your time, so might not be as convenient, but one of these days we'll get you there. It's every Monday.
Monday, 6:30.
Yeah,
maybe we're gonna start that mastermind course again. That's gonna be at 1:30 to 3:30 usually. So it's a stretch. We'll see.
Yeah, we can do it eventually, but definitely would be fun. Jason's Twitter right there, guys. You can follow him, get all of his info, details, Discord, all that good stuff. Jason did buy NVIDIA last week. He bought some calls.
Yeah, so NVIDIA and Palo Alto. Go Nancy.
Go Nancy. We'll have a lot to talk about on tomorrow's market open.
Yeah, this Robinhood. So that was a 65 strike, dude. 1600 volume on Friday. I just went for it. They were not super cheap. They were like 8.25, something like that.
Yeah.
But I was like, dude, this could, because we were talking about it. I was like, dude, if they do that good, this is a $60 stock, I think.
100%.
At least in the near term. And I think that's what the market is starting to, they're already going there. Those bastards front running it. Damn it.
We will have TT tomorrow. Yes.
Yes. TT tomorrow.
Dude, I'm telling you.
I'm just so stuck on this Hood, dude. And I kept thinking about this Palantir from 40, that $40 momentum move just to 70 something.
Well, think about what happened during that time. S&P inclusion was big. Then they said we're going to the NASDAQ. That was November 26th or November 14th. So that was big. Then I guess the media attention from S&P 500 was good, and that compounded. And then they had actual 30% growth finally. Robinhood.
Yeah, but isn't all of that going to happen for Robinhood also?
That's my point. Robinhood is S&P. Robinhood has the growth. The media attention is like really starting to compound with all these awards. Yahoo says comeback kid of the year, right? All this stuff.
Yeah.
And then crypto's the catalyst, just like Pouncer needed the AI catalyst. Robinhood is the crypto catalyst. So
yeah, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. I just hope it doesn't get to like our targets, because like, what are we gonna do if it's triple digits?
If Robinhood's 100 by okay, at what point do you sell some shares if it gets to 100?
That's my question. I'm like, what do I do?
If it's 100 by the end of the year, I think I would just sell aggressive covered calls, dude, and not, because that takes the itch off. Why would we want to, like, we don't want to sell this stock, bro. Why would we want to sell this stock?
Why would you see it? Why would you be selling aggressively?
Well, that's a good point, because that makes no sense, right? Like, if I would just sell the shares at that point. Well, here's the thing. If they get to 100 without the growth, then I think Robinhood's definitely going to tank, because they're going to have a bad quarter if the growth is not there. But Palantir can get there without the growth, because Palantir has narrative and sentiment.
Yeah.
Hood doesn't, like, everyone knows Hood's numbers. They can't really just surprise you, right?
You're right. And they do it every month almost. So it's like you get that extra. And that's actually, that's a good point. So that's like why Costco doesn't usually move a whole lot on earnings, because they report like monthly, right? Tesla, sometimes they report a lot, but not.
Hood should not get to 100 unless they deserve it. Because everyone knows the numbers. They're like, it would have to be January 2021 again, and I don't think we're there in terms of just egregious. Because rates are not zero. Like that's another reason it's hard to get there.
Yeah. Rates are not
Also, the other
zero.
catalyst, dude, the other catalyst we didn't talk about, IPOs. They're back. Like that's big for brokerages. Brokerages love that. I mean,
Very true. And what's funny, dude, is you remember at the end of last year, we keep going, we keep talking. It's like when all the analysts were getting super bullish on like, let's buy the CDOE, buy all these exchanges, and nobody said Robinhood.
I had
none of them said that.
The amount of debates I had with some friends who were like, "Oh, let's buy this thing because it's correlated to people trading." I'm like, just buy Hood. This was at $12.
Yeah, they're like, buy NASDAQ, buy CBOE, buy this, that, the other. And I'm like, here we are.
Like, it's Hood. They're like, no, but
I didn't even think about it then, but like clearly that all their thesis shift.
Yeah, Hood is just proven most people wrong with threats.
And how come you're not using Legends yet? Do you need like a tutorial or what?
No, it doesn't. It's not good for streaming.
I sat down with TJ and I jumped on a Zoom. The dude, I love TJ, but he's like having trouble with Zoom. I'm like, God damn it, TJ. To set up his Legends homepage, right? Because you do have to set it up, and then maybe.
I've set up my homepage, but in terms of streaming, dude, you can't see the ticker symbol on the stream. And I told Vlad, I was like, Vlad, like, we can't even see if it's.
Oh, you were talking about the charts?
Yeah, because that's what I use it for, on streaming.
Oh
yeah, I don't trade as much as you. I mean, I'm not.
No, yeah, you should be using TradingView, but okay.
Or Webull, just like you can see the stocks in a list. I'm like, that's all they need to do to fix it, and it would be easy to stream it.
Yeah, let me see. How do you add? Oh, they can't. I mean, edit.
No, he said the features were coming. He told me it's just going to take some time. When they get there, it'll be nice. Oh, Tempest her strike is 20, Jason, not 50.
What?
The $50 strike is VST.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's a $20. You're right.
That makes more sense because she doesn't buy out of the money call options. She doesn't do that. Like I've never seen her do that, to be honest.
Yeah, I was okay. It's that dyslexia kicking in there.
Even Broadcom, she printed.
It was $50 strike VST, $20 strike Tempest.
Yeah, she had $50 Broadcom or $80 Broadcom options.
TEM.
Oh man. Well, we have a new president, folks, in the United States of America. And I guess we'll see how the market reacts to this later tonight.
By the way that she does her option trades, for people like talking, like I usually say, you don't exercise options, but like the way that she buys them, she doesn't pay a whole lot of time premium by buying in the money.
Yeah.
Like it's not a lot of time premium.
She's done
$3. No, not even. It's $17 for that strike. The stock is trading at 35.
Yeah.
So that's $2 of time premium for a year. It's really not that much.
All right, let's end it here.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. I'll be back 7:45, and we'll get ready for the futures.
Adios.
See you, Jason.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Technical Tuesday.
See you guys. Adios.
See you. I'll see you guys 7:45 tonight. We'll stream futures. We'll get that little bit of market open. And then 9:30, we'll have Hood Weekly. So 7:45 to 9:15. We'll just see how the market reacts. And then we'll get into Robinhood Weekly. We got a lot of stuff to talk about that as well. All right. Bye, everyone. Have a good one. I talked a bit about the meetup in the first stream I did today. So if you go to YouTube, press live, go to the first Trump picture. It got banned after, it got taken down, but like the stream is still up, but it went blank. And I talked for like 20 minutes about the meetup over the weekend. So if anyone wants to get some feedback or thoughts on what happened over the weekend, you can listen to that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It was a really fun meetup, super cool. I'll probably talk more about it tomorrow, but very, very awesome stuff. And I'll be back later tonight. Hopefully I am back when Trump's signing the executive orders. I don't know when that happens, but if it's around 7:30, 7:45, then I'll be live. All right. Bye, everyone. Have a good one.